The Street Corner Soapbox. The Street Corner Soapbox with Falso and Willin. Podcast takeover. We're making a killing. Music to nightlife. Debauchery and street news. Serving it hot. We are some street news, movies and mayhem. The craziest guests, words from chaos. Get it off our chest, Rhode Island, worldwide. Dark corners in all places. Speak how we live, radio show, smoking aces. Ladies and gents, for the people we're talking. Take the show on the road, right where you're walking. Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Street Corner Soapbox Podcast coming to you live.
That's right, boys and girls. Street Corner Soapbox. Now, we all know during this crazy time with the pandemic, businesses are struggling. So we're here to support local businesses, and we need your help to do so also.
That's right. So subscribe to our Patreon, become a member to help support the show, and receive exclusive episodes and bonus content, as well as discounts on merch. That's patreon.com/streetcorner_soapbox2020.
Follow us on our website, streetcornersoapbox.com. That's right, boys and girls. Street Corner Soapbox. I am back with my brother, Lord Willin.
Hey, now.
Hey, what? Whoa, that was a different. You fucked me all up. That was a different. Yeah, you did. You fucked me all up, dude. But good guest today, Vongsisomphone.
Thoney.
Oh, my motherfucker, did I do it right?
You did. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
You're gonna fuck up the last name, though.
No,
you didn't say the last name.
You're doing the last. I thought
Phanlak.
word T.
Phanlak. Perfect. There we go.
So you don't pronounce the H?
There's no H. Yeah, it's just a regular like.
So why do they spell it with the H?
I don't know,
understand.
man. They just like letters
Why do
for
they do
whatever
that,
fucking
dude?
reason.
It's to fuck everyone up. That's
Yes.
Why is the K silent?
I don't know. Is it?
Phanlak.
No.
Phanlak.
I mean, in general,
You dropped
in
the K.
English.
Well, language is fucked up, dude. Like,
It is.
Dude, spell spaghetti.
I can spell spaghetti.
Yeah, prove it.
S-P-H.
Spaghetti. Come on.
S-P-A-G-H-E-T-T-I.
Boom.
But yo, why?
M-O.
Like, why would they? Here's my question, right? Why would they include the letters if you're not gonna pronounce them when you say it?
I don't know. That's.
Oh, come on with the headphones.
I forgot I have a fucking.
Yeah, because you're fucking spaced out.
Oh, I'm not spaced out. I forgot I had.
Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking blame that on the fucking THC. But back to what we were saying. We apologize for anyone listening out there that had to hear that feedback. But yeah, why do they fucking put letters in shit that you don't pronounce?
Yeah, that's a good question because I don't know if it's like a thing where they just want as many letters as they want in a name. I don't know if you notice any Lao or Thai names, but they're like 20 letters long for whatever reason.
Yes. Well, look at the Russian alphabet too. How fucked up that is, dude.
A lot of K's, X's.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude.
Consonants just put together for no reason.
It's fucking weird.
That's all they say. A lot of vowels.
So what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys? Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, of course, bro.
I appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming down.
So I know I'm gonna call you Thoney because that's how I know you.
Yeah.
And it would just be a disaster trying to say your first name the whole time. But
Dude, I nailed it.
You did.
yeah, well then you could say it.
Want to see some porn?
I want to see some porn.
I do,
see some
actually.
porn.
It's good for
I want
you.
to see
It's
some
good for
porn
you.
in the
You
building.
learn a lot from them. Like, you learn a lot.
So I know Thoney for a while. We met through martial arts. Another friend that I've met through martial arts.
That's right.
Specifically, Jeet Kune, the Darien Academy of Martial Arts. Shout out to Sifu Rafi.
Yeah, Sifu Rafi's the man.
So we met there, man, and we've talked periodically, and I talked to him a couple weeks ago. I was like, yo, you'd be a good guest to come on. Not only a martial artist, an instructor, but also a microbiologist.
Yeah.
A medical lab scientist.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, with a microbiology background.
All right, so you're not is it not technically a microbiologist?
Well, technically, it's what they do is they train you in different aspects of the lab. So whether it's chemistry, microbiology, virology, hematology. So basically, almost like different styles of martial arts, if you want to think of it that way.
Okay.
The different aspects of the medical lab. And when I started working as a medical lab scientist, I initially worked in hematology lab. Then I went to microbiology, and then now I'm back to hematology. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So are there people that just study microbiology, and would they be microbiologists?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So they would go for that track. So some people in the medical lab science field, that's all they do. They just pick one discipline, and then that's what they run with.
Since you study multiple things, that's why you're the medical lab scientist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're diverse.
I am. So basically, I'm a generalist. That's what they say.
All right. Cool. See, I didn't know that. I thought because I think when I met you, I think you were studying microbiology.
Yeah,
so
because I was working in a microbiology lab, and that's the only thing I did basically.
Okay, cool. All right, so medical lab scientist. So why don't you get into your background a little bit? You have a pretty interesting story. You know what I'm saying? In your early days.
In my early days, I was born in Thailand. I was actually born in a refugee camp, 1985.
Yep.
My parents escaped the Vietnam War. Basically, my mom was like, "Hey, the war is out. I'm leaving. My kids are gonna be born in the States." Told my dad, "You coming with me? If you're not, adios." So they escaped. Landed in Thailand. Actually, an interesting story about their group when they left. They actually got arrested when they crossed over to Thailand.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and luckily they
came from Laos.
They
right?
came from Laos. Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, they actually had one of the princes of Laos, and he was actually part of the group. And they got arrested, and he was like, "Yo, you got to let these people go. They helped me escape the country." And so instead of sending everyone back over to Laos, they sent everyone to a refugee camp.
In
Thailand, yep. And then, they were there for 3 years. Then I was finally born. They wanted me to be born in the States. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So I can't become president,
Well, do you have, so you have citizenship in Thailand?
I did. I did have citizenship in Thailand. And then when my parents got nationalized, I automatically became nationalized when I think I was like 5 or 6. And, I became a U.S. citizen that way.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, the Vietnam War was obviously, was fucking, we don't have to get into all that. But a lot of people might not know that Laos was actually, I watched a documentary on this. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think they dropped like a crazy amount of bombs.
Yeah, they had, actually, Laos, the most amount of bombs were ever, basically dropped on a country. So basically what they would do is they would load up their planes, drop the bombs in Vietnam, whatever sites they were, and if they had anything left, they would cross. They would come back, and then they would just drop it in the middle of Laos, just to offload the ammo.
And they say that there's actually bombs still go off to this day.
Till this day.
People still, people have been killed up to until I don't know what year the documentary was, but it was recent times.
Yeah.
And
Like booby trap type stuff?
Oh, like
landmines.
Yeah,
and,
people just step on it.
Yeah.
Landmines.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. They're still active, huh?
They're still active.
Yeah.
Kids
That's how many bombs were dropped on Laos. You know what I'm saying?
Wild.
Yeah, dude, fucking insane, bro.
It's the secret wars. The CIA basically ran like secret missions through in Laos, and they said they would never in Laos, but they were in Laos.
Of course, they were everywhere.
Oh, they lie about everything.
Yeah, well, but
now they're listening to us.
Laos wasn't directly involved in the conflict, right? The Vietnam conflict.
They sided with the communists.
They did?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were they send? I don't know. We don't have to get into a whole history lesson on Vietnam, but did they send? Do you know if were they sending troops over, obviously to support the
support
the Viet Cong and stuff like that?
And the funny thing too is the CIA was actually training their own soldiers in Laos, but they were training the Hmong people. Like they're like the ethnic group in Laos.
Yep.
So that's why there's so many Hmong people in this area as well.
Yeah.
So they escaped because basically the U.S. was just like kind of grabbed their stuff and left, and then like some of the Hmong people were able to escape as well.
Is there a difference between Laotian and Hmong?
Yeah, actually the language is different. Like they consider themselves kind of like separate in terms of ethnicity.
There's just a large population.
Yeah, just a large population. So
what country did they come from?
They actually, I believe, if history-wise, if I got this right, I believe they were from like southern China, and then they migrated into Laos, and they lived in the mountains.
I've read a little bit about the culture, not a lot though.
Yeah.
I know. I'm familiar, but I didn't realize that. I didn't know.
So they settled in Laos, and
cool.
that's how they came there.
Cool, man. So you were born in Thailand.
Yeah.
You came to the States with your parents.
Yep.
And your parents settled in Rhode Island?
Yeah, well, initially, first they landed. They were sponsored by a family in San Antonio.
Oh, really?
They were sponsored. They came over here, and they found out that my uncle was up here, and then he gave him a call. It was like, hey, I'm in Rhode Island. You guys should come up here, and then we've been here ever sinse.
Cool. So. You got into martial arts now.
Young age. 5 years old. You've been doing it 30 years.
Dude, wild.
Yeah. So, what kind of drew you to martial arts? What
Any influences?
Yeah.
Well, like at the time, my parents used to call me Buksua. Buksua means like tiger child or tiger boy. I had a lot of aggression.
Child.
Yeah, I had a lot of aggression as a kid. I still remember one of my first like memories as a kid was I was getting bullied by like one of the older kids at a family party.
Yep.
I was playing with like a Hot Wheels toy, and he was bullying me. And he grabbed my toy and he chucked it across the room. And I fucking snapped. Like, I fucking started pounding on this
Really?
kid. And then the other kids had to go get my dad to pull me off of him. And, I still remember this day that, just me having a lot of regression as a kid. And then I guess my parents were just like, we got to get, some of this energy out. And at the time, one of my friends was going to a karate studio in Woonsocket.
Yep.
And, I went with him.
Yeah, love Woonsocket.
Yeah, Woonsocket.
Woonsocket?
Yep. So I started my martial arts career at doing Parker's Kempo Karate.
Okay, yeah.
With Mr. Ed Wilson.
Yeah, that's a well-known, probably maybe the most famous style of Kempo,
Yeah,
right?
probably, yeah. In the States.
Ed Parker, I mean, international, he put on the international...
yeah, that's where Bruce
Lee, made his
exactly.
debut.
That's where he met Guru Dan.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of history through that lineage
Oh, absolutely.
of Kempo. And you got your first degree black belt at the tender age of 18.
18.
Yeah. So how did you find? Well, you didn't have nothing to compare it to at the time, but how did you find the karate Kempo training?
Kempo training, I really loved doing the kata. I was always good with doing kata. I enjoyed sparring, but the free form of sparring. What I mean by free form sparring was like, a lot of karate styles just did point sparring.
Mm-hmm. Which you hate.
Yeah, I fucking hate point sparring. I used to get my ass kicked in point sparring because I was short.
Yeah.
I was always a short kid, so they just jump up in the air, tapping the head. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not real sparring. So like in free form sparring, I would just light people up because, they don't call points. It's just, you just go at it.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved. And I told myself, after I got my black belt, I wanted to go, train in other styles because, Kempo was great for me, but I knew there was other things out there.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I had that kind of same experience. Well, I started off in karate too, as many kids, especially in the 90s did, you know what I'm saying? So I got to a point where I kind of just became disheartened with it, like just because of... I don't even get into the politics, but just, similar reasons. Like, I knew there was other styles, too, So, obviously, I think it's natural.
Why do you think karate was such a big thing in the early 90s? I feel like, pushed to, like American youth anyway, because I did karate.
It became a popular business model.
It did.
And I've talked about this on other episodes, like Sensei Justin Hagen, shout out to him, Kyokushin Philly. I think it became westernized, and they said, okay, we can make a business out of this.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
people want to learn self-defense, they want to learn how to fight, but it became watered down. And, back when I was a kid, I didn't know there was other styles of karate even. I didn't really find that out till later on, like hard fucking styles, like Kyokushin, like fucking the Okinawan styles.
I know. It's some hard styles
I wish
out
I was training that stuff back then, because maybe it would have been different for me overall.
Yeah, because also too, like maybe it had something to do with the Karate Kid, because that movie really made like karate popular.
Yeah.
You watched the new Cobra Kai?
Oh, not the third season yet, but I know it just came out. Yeah, but I watched the first two. It's pretty damn dope.
I love
that
it.
they used the old actors in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant, man, how they did it.
It's so cheesy, but lots of
No, it's totally
so cheesy.
cheesy, but like it's
But it's good.
It's nostalgic, and it's just one of them things. That
I was skeptical of it at first. I was
Same here, man.
I was like, I don't know about this, man.
It took you 2 years to finally
But
watch it.
then I fucking started watching it. I was like, yo, this is great.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, it's brilliant how they put it together, So, 2004, you started training in JKD, Jeet Kune Do, under Sifu Colin Lieberman at the URI JKD Club. How'd you stumble upon JKD?
I literally stumbled upon it at the Union. Like, I was just at the time I was dating this girl, and we just had dinner, and it was around like 6:00.
Yeah.
We were walking around the Union, and I see this door open in one of the rooms, and there were people training.
Yep.
I look in, and I was like, yo, hand speed drills, sensitivity drills. He's like, yeah. Do you know Bruce Lee's art, Jeet Kune Do? I'm like, yeah, I read about it. He was like, you want to come try class? And then that was it. Like, I walked right in. I literally stumbled upon it. And
so you were already familiar with Jeet Kune Do?
Yeah, so I was a big Bruce Lee fan, obviously, growing up.
Yeah.
And I never knew where to train in his art. And I was just walking around in Union. I just literally just stumbled upon it. And Colin, Sifu Colin, asked me to join class, and the rest is history. I've been hooked.
Yeah, man. Well, for those that don't know, and many of the listeners might not, let's maybe talk about Jeet Kune Do for a second here.
Yeah.
And we, if you want to talk about
absolutely.
Give a little
A little history.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, Jeet Kune Do is Bruce Lee's philosophy in art, whereas using no style as your style. So basically, you incorporate other arts into what essentially would become your own. He believed that not one, person would be really proficient in maybe like one style. So, for example, like one style might not work for someone else, but he used bits and pieces of other arts. I know that when he first started, he started in Wing Chun, and then he became I guess disenfranchised with even Wing Chun himself.
Yeah.
And he decided to incorporate more of like Western boxing, some fencing footwork into it, and then he created basically the precursor to what MMA is now.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah. No, he was. I would say early on he was already thinking ahead of the curve. He was
Absolutely.
ahead of the curve. But he said, why be stuck in one style when there's limitations, I think, to every style at
Absolutely.
some point. Even the best.
Yeah. Even the best.
Even what you would consider to be the best style, whatever it is, at some point, there's going to be some kind of limitation where there's another style that, you can learn from.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that was, and not everything's going to work for everybody based on your body type, based on your skills and abilities. So his whole philosophy, I think, was to borrow things that worked for him from other styles, and then he taught that to other people.
Yeah. And then even that, he would tailor make the programs for each student too. Like if you were a private student of his, like your program would be different from, say like, Chris and I, we have different body types.
Yeah.
So yours would be different and mine would be different as well.
Yeah.
So it depends, And I think that's why like there's so much argument between the JKD community as to what JKD really is.
Yeah.
Because, certain instructors will receive different information, and then, he would teach someone else something else because, he would tailor make, to his students accordingly.
Yeah, and then, you also had the Jun Fan Gung Fu curriculum.
Yes.
Which I guess you could say was the actual system he created.
It was. Mm-hmm.
And JKD, I think, is more of his philosophy.
Yes, that's how I look at it too. So Jun Fan Gung Fu is the system or style. I hate saying style because, again, when you say style, it crystallizes the style from him.
Right.
But yeah, so Jeet Kune Do is the process of, essentially making your own way of fighting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people might get confused about that.
Yes.
And I mean, a lot of people might not realize the Jun Fan curriculum, and that there's actually, it seems like in the JKD world, there's two kind of schools where there's the people who follow the Jun Fan path, they stick to that curriculum.
Yes.
And then there's the JKD philosophy, JKD concepts like Guru Dan and Asanto, where it's a constant progression.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A lot of those people, they train in all different kind of arts, and they just don't stick to one curriculum the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more, I think, that's closer to MMA.
Yes, exactly. I mean, for me, I look at my personal JKD as MMA for almost like MMA for street or MMA for self-defense. That's how I see my JKD. Yeah. Because even me, after I got my black sash, like that's when I started to dabble in MMA.
Yeah.
Like I started taking jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I did a little bit more grappling because that was part of the game where honestly it was shit.
Yeah. Well, I think there's maybe not a heavy emphasis on grappling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, to the point of how you train it in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's not contested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too with the JKD realm is. And that's why I think a lot of JKD guys have actually gone on and trained like combat sports because there's nothing in the JKD community where you can actually go and really like test your stuff.
Yeah, because to
the level of like a combat sport.
Yeah, because there's no competition aspect of it.
Right, exactly. And like in karate, you have point fighting, you have tournaments. You know what I'm saying? And Kung Fu too, and obviously the combat sports styles, that's what you're doing all the time.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of MMA fighters with JKD backgrounds people might not realize, but they probably got to that point where they were like, okay, I'm at the highest level that I can be. Mm-hmm. Now, what can I do next?
Exactly. So, like for example, Crew Mark Delagrati.
Yeah,
he was a JKD guy.
Shout out to Crew.
Yeah,
Crew Mark. He comes up quite a bit, but that's one of my.
I mean, he's good.
Yeah, man, one of the best. But yeah, he came from a JKD colleague background, C-Lot, and you know, he said to me, he goes, you know, I knew I wasn't going to get into a knife fight anytime soon. So how else can I test myself?
Exactly.
You know, and that's when he started training Muay Thai. But yeah, I mean, I guess, do you consider that to be maybe a flaw?
To be quite honest,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, you know, I love sparring.
Yeah.
And I love sparring hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, when we spar, it's a little light.
Yeah.
I like, Coach George always yells at me, I like standing and banging.
Yeah, well, that's Muay Thai.
Yeah, that's Muay Thai. And
Yeah.
he always yells at me.
Shout out to Coach George, too. Yeah.
Move your fucking head, Tony. And that's all I can hear. And I'm just slugging it away with the heavyweights. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I think it's key to get in there and really fucking mix it up, dude, because that's the only way you're really going to know what works and what doesn't.
Exactly. How do you know all that stuff you're doing is actually working if
Yeah.
you're not contesting it?
Yeah. And that's I don't know if I consider JKD traditional, but I think that's a problem with, and other people have said this too that we've had on, with a lot of traditional arts, is they don't ever take it to that point.
No, they don't.
You know? Like, I respect, like, training kata and, you know, doing techniques, but you got to test it somehow.
Absolutely.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you gotta like push it to a point where, but right before you get hurt, kind of.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. You gotta feel some pain. No one wants to get hurt, like injured, seriously.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt your partner, but
you gotta feel some fucking pain, man, to know, like, okay, you know, first of all, what it's like to get hit, and then second of all, you know, what works.
Yeah, and also you gotta learn how to hit back because you know you a lot of like self-defense classes, they'll teach you, oh, you know, you do this. Oh, as I hit this, you do this, you do that, and then, you know, how do you know that's actually gonna lay someone out?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, they're countering, they're hitting you back.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you've never been shot with something in the face really hard,
Yeah.
you're not gonna know how to react.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think you want to get to the point where getting hit in the face doesn't even faze you.
Yeah, like I just like whatever.
And
seriously, that's when you know.
That's only practice and just. I mean,
well, you lose that fear of getting hit in the face.
Yeah. It's not gonna hurt today.
It's not a shock when you get popped. It's not a shock. And I'm not saying the best style is to be a fucking straight brawler, because you're not gonna have as much longevity as someone who fights smart. But at the same time, you want to get used to that. So when you do get hit, you're not like, oh my God, what do I do?
You're not shell shocked.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, even if you're not trying to be a pro fighter or anything, I still think that's important.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that would classify as like part of conditioning, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But who's gonna hit you? Gonna hit you in the face? That's
you got. I mean, crazy motherfuckers that.
Sign me up.
Exactly. Crazy people like us that.
Hell yeah.
Because how else do you overcome a fear of something? How else do you know what I'm saying? Become
do it.
get used to something. Exactly.
You gotta do it.
So fucking hit me in. I'd rather get hit in the face in the gym.
Yeah, by one of my boys.
Exactly.
I'd rather have Chris punch me in the face than some stranger out there.
No, for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And especially two guys that actually want to fight too, like, you know, that want to fight professionally or amateur, whatever. Like they, you know, that. I mean, there's no way around that.
No, there is.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's definitely key. Now, so you start off with Sifu Colin, and then you started training under Sifu Rafi, which is when we met.
Yes.
Well, I came after, but so how did that transition happen?
So basically, I was training with Sifu Colin in college, and he graduated college, and he moved to, I believe he moved to Canada at the time, or upstate New York, I forget. But you know, I needed an instructor, so I started training with Sifu Rafi, and then, you know, I've been his student ever since.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, in this area, you know, Sifu Rafi is the guy to go to for JKD.
Yes.
You know, the you know, I don't even know of any other schools.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In terms of the source, you know, you consider Bruce Lee the source, right? Bruce Lee, Guru Dan, Sifu Kevin, and then Sifu Rafi.
Exactly. So anyone out there looking to get into JKD, go check out the Darien Academy of Martial Arts.
That's right.
Sisuk Thoney over here teaches Tuesday
nights.
Yeah, so go see Sisuk Thoney. Tell him I sent you. So you got your level 10, your black sash. I think I was still there.
I think you're still there. Do you remember how that came about, though? That black sash?
I don't. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about the process.
All right.
And then talk about, if you want to talk about the test and what you were just gonna say.
Okay. All right, so basically in our curriculum, at least, we have 10 levels of learning, so 1 through 10, 10 being equivalent to a black sash or black belt, however you want to put it. And we technically don't wear any belts at all. It's more of a, like a, I guess, symbolic thing.
For those that don't know too, when you train, typically JKD school, you wear like shorts and a tank top.
Yeah, basically, basically like an MMA class.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, so there's different levels of learning. So like 1 through 4, I guess you consider beginner level, and then 5 through 7, intermediate to advanced, and then level 8 through 10. I guess that's when you start to really develop your JKD or Jeet Kune Do, your way. So that's when you add your own I guess combos to your block and counters. You learn how to do different traps differently. More energy drills, and once you hit like level 10, you should be developing your own block encounters completely. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm gonna lead up into my Black Sash test. So I go into the Black Sash test. It's a 2-day test, and I did great on the first day. Second day, I'm killing it. I probably had like maybe half an hour into the test until the test is over. I'm exhausted. I do a takedown on Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry. That's my dude.
Yeah, my good friend Jerry. He still hates himself to this day for it, but I joke around about it. So I do a shitty takedown on Jerry. I fall down. I fucking tear my ACL.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I do. Yeah,
I tore my ACL. I didn't believe it at the time. I was in pain. I popped that shit back in, stood back up. And they were like, no, sit your ass back down. Something bad happened. I was like, no, I'm good. And they were like, no, you did something to your knee. Like, you're not continuing the test. I was like, no, I'm fucking good. And I had to sit down. They wouldn't let me finish the test. They didn't let me finish the test. And Rafi, was like, you got to get an MRI or you can't come back to class yet. I was like, wait, what? Come on. Like, I'm good. He was like, no, go get an MRI. So I go get an MRI. They confirmed the torn ACL. And then I had to get ACL reconstruction. I had to come back a year later to finish that test.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
A year later.
Yeah, because I remember, I think you were absent for a while.
Yeah.
And it was after that. That sucks, man.
That was a low point in my life. I was not feeling good.
You were on the brink of
I was
attaining
right there.
the highest level, and you fucking tear your ACL.
So close.
I mean, what the fuck? What are the chances?
Yeah, it's not an easy recovery.
No, dude, that's major surgery, major fucking recovery time.
I mean, I had a good surgeon, luckily. He does actually the surgery for all the P Bruins.
Okay. Oh,
really? So he asked me, he's like, how do you want to do this? How do you want to reconstruct this thing? I was like, whatever you do to the hockey players, that's what I want.
Yeah. And
he was like, all right, it's going to be a longer recovery, but you're going to get all your flexibility and mobility back. I was like, that's what I want. I don't give a fuck.
It's good you had like a sports surgeon.
Yes.
That is familiar with athletic injuries.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Fuck.
So close.
But, I mean, so you tore your ACL, you had to sit out for a year, and then you came back.
I came back full force.
You tested again. And you passed.
I passed, yes. Yeah. I got it.
Talk about, so how long was the test, if I remember correctly, for at least for the highest level 10, that was a couple days, right?
Yes, it was 2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
Then he ran you through the ringer,
Yeah,
right?
ran you through the ringer. You had to fight every single one of the instructors there, too.
Oh, shit. Yeah, man, no joke, dude.
2 day, all 2 days, huh?
2 days, yeah, 2 day test.
Yeah. That's, a lot of traditional arts, the testing is probably something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, they're not just gonna you're reaching the highest level. They want to make sure that you're ready.
Yeah, you better be ready.
They're not just gonna give it to anybody.
Every level, or just off top?
I can personally, I didn't get to level 10, but I can personally speak on like the lower levels. I mean, I wouldn't say it was easy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you still had to know your shit.
Yeah.
Whatever curriculum you needed to learn, you had to know it.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't get it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not, again, I don't want to bash anything, but like, back in the day, kids karate, I mean, it was basically like, you know what I'm saying?
Here's
like,
your belt.
You show up and you get the belt. You know what I mean?
How high
you
did
pay.
you go in karate?
Huh?
How high did you go?
Like pretty much like junior black belt.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
That's still pretty high rank.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
you're like, whatever. I don't care.
No, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I would say. The testing that like Thoney had to go through, and even the testing I did was a little. I don't want to say harsh, but it was
a little more intense.
Yeah, a little more intense.
Yeah, definitely.
Reality based, and you had to put in work, man.
Yeah, I still remember Sifu Rafi too. Was on the second day of the test. He was like, the test lasted so long because you never got tired. That's what he said to me. I was like, well, I was working on my cardio. Like, I was like, I wanted to come back
definitely.
Hard.
Yeah, man. So let's branch off a little bit too. And so while you're training, under Sifu Rafi. Obviously, part of the curriculum, for those that don't know, in JKD concepts, usually is they incorporate the Filipino martial arts. Yes. Something we haven't really talked about on the show. And I also trained it. I started off training with Sifu Keith Allen, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And then I was training it under Sifu Rafi as well. And I know you've been training it.
Yes.
Your whole time training JKD.
Yes. So basically, I didn't really get into Kali heavily until maybe level 6 in JKD.
Yeah, but it's a requirement though, isn't it?
Yeah, right? It is. Yeah. It is a requirement because it does help you out on your footwork.
Yeah,
because
footwork's really good.
Footwork is key in Kali because if you can get out of the way of a stick, you can get out of the way of a punch.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, maybe just a brief rundown of Kali, Eskrima, Arnis.
All right. Yeah. So
Filipino arts.
The Filipino arts. So basically, it's the Filipino knife and stick fighting art, if you want to say. The sticks actually represent machetes. So it's. We use that as part of our curriculum because it helps you with sensitivity, it helps you with footwork, and even some of the the panantukan stuff, which is the empty-handed Filipino boxing stuff.
Dirty boxing.
Yeah, dirty boxing. But we incorporate a lot of that as well.
Yeah, and then there's also a grappling style. I don't know how much it's trained across the board, but I think what's it called? Duma, right?
Yeah, Duma.
Yeah, that's the actual Filipino, I guess, would you say wrestling or grappling?
I would say grappling, grappling and wrestling,
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like a lot of takedowns and breaks and on the ground. Though.
Yeah, on the ground, and actually a lot of it looks like what you see in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
And then also, which is incorporated into some of the curriculum, I guess, would be silat.
Yes.
The Indonesian martial art.
Yeah, the Indonesian, even Indonesian and Malaysian as well. Malaysian art.
Made popular by the Raid films.
Oh, hell yeah.
Great movies. But if you haven't seen the Raid films, go watch them ASAP. Some of the best martial arts movies ever made.
For real, so brutal, beautifully choreographed violence.
How would you describe silat for those that don't know?
Silat, very similar to, actually looks a little more like Kung Fu, I guess.
Yeah.
Very flowy.
I think there's a big Kung Fu influence.
Big Kung Fu influence, very flowy, still bladed.
Yeah.
A lot of takedowns.
Karambit.
A lot of cool takedowns. A lot of body position manipulations.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's pretty brutal. Did you ever see those videos from I think they're from the 70s of dudes in they're either in Indonesia or Malaysia, and they were this silat cult, and this guy would they would make his students jump through windows.
Oh, I did see some of those.
Jump off of fucking 10-story buildings and shit. Just crazy fucking training, dude.
Yeah, I would be I'm not about this. I'm gonna go do karate.
Jump off 10-story buildings.
Yo, dude, they were at a parking garage and the dude or whatever.
Jump onto what?
He just jumped onto the ground. Yeah, they're on YouTube. I don't even know what you would search, but if you type in maybe silat cult or silat body conditioning, I think, or something like that. But that's pretty. That's pretty fucking crazy, dude.
No, that's not pretty crazy. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, I guess the
jump. I'm not jumping off this roof.
For real.
I guess. If you can do that and survive, and not get seriously injured, I guess.
People gotta get hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't. Well,
absolutely.
In the video, the dude jumps off and then he hits the ground and he's kind of I don't know if he's knocked out, but he's not moving for a second. But then he ends up someone comes over and he gets up and he walks. No, he walked away. Yeah.
Or did his chi come back to him? Is that
maybe,
right?
Dude. Yeah, I don't know. And then
he was up there though.
And then there's another clip where they have these plate glass windows set up. And they're basically just running and fucking doing a fucking ninja roll into the plate glass window, and fucking that's it.
Really?
Yeah, dude. That's hardcore shit.
When I see those videos, I'm like, how is that gonna help me fight?
I don't know. But those
help you jump out of a window.
Hey, that might be a skill you need.
You're not wrong.
You
know what? Let's do it right now.
Those dudes are probably assassins, dude.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
They're probably listening to us right now.
Shit, dude.
So what level you at in Kali?
So in Kali,
close to the top rank, right?
All right, we laugh because for the longest time, I never had any rank in Kali, and I was already helping teach class.
Yeah.
And Rafi would look at me. Well, Sifu Rafi, should be honoring him as honorific names.
No doubt.
Yeah. So Sifu Rafi would be like, "So what level are you?" I'm like, "I don't know." He checks the card. He's like, "Dude, you're level 1." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're helping me teach class." I was like, "I don't know. I don't care about testing." It's like I already have all these ranks. Who gives a shit? So like for Kali, I tested for level 1 through 4 in like one shot.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Level 1 through 3 in one shot.
Yeah.
And then I did level 4 and 5 in one shot as well. So I'm a level 5 right now. Level 6 is the black belt equivalent.
Okay, so you're close.
Yeah, I'm close. I mean, I have all the black belt material. It's just I never tested.
Yeah, and you also, while you've been there, you started. So Sifu Rafi has his own Kempo system.
Yes,
right?
he does. Yeah.
So you started training.
Yeah.
that as well.
Before I tore my knee, I was doing JKD, Kali, and also the Shinkoryu Kempo with Sifu Rafi.
You're going all in.
I was going all in, man.
No joke.
Yeah, no joke. I did every single thing at the academy, and then I got up to a brown belt level because
Nice.
he let me wear my black belt from my other school.
Yeah.
But I was learning the curriculum from the beginning all the way up, and I got to the brown belt level.
Just describe that style real quick.
So Shinkoryu Kempo, it combines some of the stuff that Sifu Rafi did in Weichi, some of his other Kempo styles that he did, and also he incorporated a lot of what he learned from Ed Parker's Kempo as well.
Okay. So it's like a hybrid of different.
Yeah, it's a hybrid of different Kempo styles.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So then, staying
2017.
staying with the martial arts. You started training some BJJ over at Team Santos, and also Just Train. Shout out to Sifu Chris.
Yeah.
And also some Muay Thai with Coach George.
That's right.
How did you find the transition from going from JKD to more combat sport style?
I really liked it because it kind of woke me up because, I thought I was a badass.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I
you
know.
start fighting real fighters and you're like, whoa, there's
Yeah.
another level to this.
Exactly, there is.
But, I adjusted and Coach George, likes that, I like getting into it with, the other guys.
Yeah.
I was never afraid to jump in there with the dudes. Like, I'll bounce off the cage and then fire back at them.
Yeah.
And, even in grappling, I had really not much experience in jiu-jitsu. And, I just delved right into it. Would get my ass kicked because I was always the smallest guy there. So that's why, eventually I was like, you know what? I gotta get stronger.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it wakes you up. It
does.
If you come from a traditional martial arts background where there's not as much emphasis on fighting,
Yeah.
once you get in there with actual fighters, and you fucking start getting hit, and
It's a different world.
It's a different world.
It's a different world.
And you're constantly pressure testing in the combat sports styles and jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, etc., boxing, whatever you want to, wrestling, anything. So you learn different skills.
You do.
You know what I'm saying? But you can also talk about how maybe you've incorporated your foundation from karate and then into JKD, and how that's helped you in maybe training Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA.
Yes. So when I started training in Muay Thai, like in JKD, I should have mentioned this. In JKD, we fight southpaw basically.
Yeah.
So
Well, you train both leagues.
You train both leagues.
Yeah, you want to train both
But
leagues.
for the most part, like I always fought southpaw.
Yeah.
In,
Me too.
In JKD, and even when I started Muay Thai,
Me
like
too.
I started
Still do.
southpaw, and and then sometimes I would switch to orthodox, and they would mess up guys.
Yeah,
They're
no,
like,
dude.
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You were just in southpaw stance. Like, no, I fight both stances.
Well, that's one thing. I'm glad I got from training JKD is now I still primarily train southpaw in Muay Thai and in other arts that I train, Sanda and everything else. But I'll do that too. I'll switch it up. And I'll go orthodox.
Nice.
And I try to throw people off. And I learned that from JKD, so that's where that base came from.
Yeah. What's also interesting too is now it switches. Now when I'm teaching in JKD, when I show things, I'm doing it in the orthodox stance.
Really?
Yeah, which is interesting.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Like I guess I like now the power hand in the back because it just feels good to just crack things with that right, man.
Well,
whack.
I think the interesting thing is how you train. If you train, southpaw so much that you actually develop a lot of power in the other hand.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? And your jab just becomes really fucking strong. I mean, it already is strong.
It becomes a really heavy jab.
Your jab now is your power hand. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it would be good to everybody should try to train that way.
Oh,
Anyway,
well, I
so
think-
you're more
yeah.
diverse.
Well, that's why.
Ambidextrous or whatever you would say.
Well, Bruce Lee emphasized that you should be proficient on both sides.
Yes.
Both stances. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get into a situation in real life where,
So you hurt your hand.
You hurt your hand, you're pushed up against the wall.
Yep.
you should know how to fight from both stances, and I think that's very important. And there's a lot of MMA fighters now and stuff that do that.
Yeah.
You know, they're well rounded. They can fight either way.
If you're used to like somebody fighting orthodox style, then going against somebody in southpaw, you could change their style depending on what they're fighting. Well, and they might just be a regular.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're talking about.
You know,
and even sparring, I'm not going to give away my secrets, but there's certain techniques that I've been able to pull off because I'm familiar, I'm comfortable in both. Even though I prefer now, over the years I prefer the southpaw stance.
Yes.
I can switch and maybe pull something off quick. Go like I'll pull off a move quick in the orthodox and then switch back to southpaw.
They're like, oh, what happened?
Yeah. Like I try to anyway. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a benefit from training something like JKD.
Yeah, and you can cut angles really fast too. You can switch leads.
Yeah,
instead of stepping, you just put one foot up. That's it.
John Jones, he does that quite a bit.
Yeah, he does.
He switches stances.
Yeah.
It's brilliant how he does it. I don't know if he has a JKD background.
Oh, Sifu Kevin, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Shout out to Sifu
Kevin.
Shout out to my boy Jimmy 2 Chains. He trains with him. JMO up in Syracuse, Albany. And Sifu Kevin's a great instructor, too. I've done some seminars under him, But, yeah, man, that obviously helped you. Would you say any of the Filipino stuff is helped?
Actually, yeah, a lot.
The footwork,
the footwork, the dirty boxing, actually, because like there's not much trapping in terms of hand trapping, but you can still pin people down and then you do a little dirty boxing. In Muay Thai. And what else? Like, actually, the Dumag stuff. A lot of that like kind of carries over into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff. Yeah. And then even with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some of the hand trapping stuff that we do. Like we're fighting for grips and stuff. That's trapping. That's Wing Chun.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you this. Where I train Muay Thai, Sityatong, crew Mark has a JKD background. So the kind of style that he developed is he emphasizes trapping.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's not just boxing. It's there's a lot of trapping in there, and people might not realize where it comes from. But if you're like, oh yeah,
that's hand trapping.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But it's good stuff, and it shows that it can work with gloves on.
Yes.
In an actual fight.
Yeah, actually, look at Lomachenko. He's just strictly a boxer, and he actually has amazing footwork, and also he does some hand trapping. Like he'll pull people's hands down, open up that window, send one down right the middle.
Yeah, man. I mean, he has some of the best. I just can't believe he lost that last fight.
Yeah, I know. It's.
I was rooting for him.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
There was some kind of controversy about that fight too, wasn't there?
I know that. I mean, when I watched the fight, he just didn't turn it up quick enough. He waited way too late into the later rounds in order to actually,
The other guy is good though, not taking anything away from.
He's a really young kid.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how he was able to beat Lomachenko.
Yeah, man, he held it down for sure.
So you started strength training, Next Level Fitness.
Yes. So one of the reasons why I wanted to start training there was
the little guy. You gotta get stronger.
I gotta get stronger. I was getting my ass kicked in jiu-jitsu. So 125 pounds. That shit is not gonna get me anywhere. So I got in contact with one of my friends from college. His name's Henry Lau. He's actually my personal trainer now, and he was at Next Level Fitness. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I gotta get stronger. I just, I'm about a year out of my ACL surgery. The knee feels good, but I just wanna, feel strong. Get my ass kicked in jiu-jitsu. I just wanna, feel good about myself.
Yeah, especially after surgery too. It's gonna be tough coming out of that funk. You know what I mean? You haven't been training.
So I trained with Henry there for probably for about a year at Next Level, and then he told me that he was gonna go to another gym. His friend Steve Tripp and Vanessa. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Vanessa and Steve Tripp.
We had him on
Top Strength Project.
Yeah, check out that episode if you haven't heard it. And Brittany Diamond as well.
Yes.
It's kind of cool. I'm the third.
You're the third top strength representative.
You'll represent.
So you definitely like training over there, right? That's a top notch.
Oh, I love that place, man.
I haven't been yet.
Love it.
You guys train at the older one?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance. I didn't meet them at the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I'm at the at Top Strength now, and I train there 3 times a week.
Nice.
Doing your the 3 big lifts, deadlifts, squats, bench, then all the other stuff too.
Is that what you're mainly focused on?
Yeah, so just strength training right now. So it's pretty cool because when I first started, I could barely lift up the trap bar with 25 plates on the side. But now I'm doing freaking 410 pounds, yo.
Really?
Yeah, 410,
wow,
bro.
dude. How much you weigh?
137.
That's fucking impressive,
so
bro.
It's three times my body weight. I'm like, holy shit,
dude.
how the hell did this happen?
So any aspirations to get into competitive powerlifting?
I don't know,
I think you
man.
should, man.
I don't know.
That'd be fucking dope, dude.
Right?
How many 137-pound powerlifters do you know?
One guy.
You're a strong motherfucker, man. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's freaking wild, man. I posted that up a couple weeks ago. That was actually my goal for the end of 2020. I was like, yo, I got to put up 400.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I put up
serious.
410 twice.
Wow,
I was like,
man. Fucking
so
props
good.
to you, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
You got that on video?
It's on video. It's actually on Instagram.
Yeah, we're going to repost that.
But you don't believe him?
No, I believe it.
You don't believe me, bro? I'm dead listening right now.
That's something that you got to see.
Serious,
you know? Yeah, that's no joke, man.
I was pretty proud of myself for that.
So I guess that's a testament to the training at Top Strength. You're
fucking working, dude.
Yeah,
You're
man.
working, bro.
Yeah, there are some monsters there, man. Like, you walk in
Fucking
there.
Trip's a fucking... I don't even know what you would call
He's
him.
like a fucking superhero.
Yeah, right?
Look at me. And I'm talking to him like this. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, man. That's great. That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
No fucking.
And Henry's still your trainer?
Yeah, Henry's still my trainer. Yo.
Word.
He's an amazing trainer. We went to college together, actually. We went to URI. We actually, when we were at URI, we actually trained a little bit together. He did jiu-jitsu at the time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Now, we've talked about this before. I just want to bring it up quick. Now, obviously, you train over there, and I've been into lifting weights for a long time. Rob has. There's a lot of myths about guys that maybe people that work out. They think they're tough, and some of them are bullies because they got big biceps and they can bench a lot. But now, coming from a martial arts background, you know that it doesn't really mean shit at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I'm just a fucking nerd that just wants to be a ninja and wants to lift heavy things. That's it. I don't take myself seriously. I'm a fucking clown, and it's whatever. Like there are some people like that, but at our gym, for the most part, everyone's pretty chill there. Everyone's doing.
Nah, yeah, I wasn't even saying there. I mean, in general.
Just in general. Yeah, well, you're right. Just in general, I don't think they will allow that at Top Strength.
Good, that's good to hear. Yeah, no. Well, too, working in the nightclubs and stuff, doing security. I mean, you got guys that got fucking massive fucking biceps.
For real.
At the end, once shit pops off, they're fucking nowhere to be found, or they're on the fucking ground. You know what I mean? So we were talking about this last night. You know what I mean? How I think it's like that.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
No,
you never know.
No, you don't.
We used to get into it a lot at the nightclubs. Actually, oh my god, do you remember Diesel or the Strand?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. So I remember one night there was this fight that broke out, and at the time they allowed bottles, beer bottles, glass beer bottles.
Yeah.
Well, people who were chucking those beer bottles, and then glass was everywhere.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was all right, a policy: no more beer bottles. Everyone gets a fucking cup.
Aluminum cans.
Yeah, aluminum cans. Yeah.
Hard, dude.
That's actually the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Diesel. I mean, Thoney actually, our other friend Thoney worked there for a while. At Diesel.
Yeah.
I never went to Diesel. I remember when it was open.
Wait, you didn't work at the Strand?
I worked when it was the Roxy.
Yep.
And I worked when it was Lupo's.
Yeah. It was always fun going out in Providence because randomly I would bump into this guy. I was like, yo, what's up, Chris?
Yeah, you were clubbing, dude.
Oh, dude, I was out there, man. Dude, I was partying like it's fucking going out of style.
Oh, man. So let's rewind now. Let's go back. So you're a medical lab scientist by trade.
By trade.
So you went to URI from 2003 to 2008. Now, how did you get into that field? What led you down that path?
So basically, I started as both a biology and computer science major. Because biology, because my parents wanted me to become a doctor because Asian.
That's like a thing.
It's a thing. Why you're not doctor yet? Why you no doctor yet? I was like, Mom, I'm not in college anymore. Come on. So I kind of wanted to be a doctor. I don't know, whatever. But I also was a big computer nerd. So I played lots of video games, and I was always on a computer online. So I kind of wanted to do that for myself. So I was a dual major, and then junior year, second semester, I was like, I really don't want to do this shit. I don't want to go to med school. Like, I don't want to be coding for the rest of my life. Yeah. And like, you know.
So you started off at med school with that?
Yeah, like a pre-med, kind of mindset. And then, you know, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do this much school because I just wanted to train. I mean, that's, you know, deep down, that's all I wanted to do, just martial arts.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this. And then, you know, like I took one microbiology class. And the professor was like, hey, you're actually kind of good at this. You ever think of, you know, doing clinical laboratory science at the time? Because they eventually changed it to medical lab science.
Yep.
But at the time, it was clinical laboratory science. And, you know, I talked to him for a bit. And I told him, I was like, you know, I really don't know what I'm going to do after I finish college. He was like, how about you know, try this major? And then I took a couple of clinical lab science courses. I was like, well, this is pretty cool. It kind of combines, you know, the biology aspect and also technology to kind of help diagnose diseases. So that's how I, you know, eventually changed my major and then went with a medical lab science degree.
Oh yeah.
And now I became a medical lab scientist.
And you were tutoring people in chemistry and physics.
Oh yes. So
I needed tutoring in chemistry and physics when I was in. Well, I never took physics, but chemistry in high school, I think.
Yeah. So I actually tutored a couple of my friends in physics. Like I never studied. I like one of those kids that were smart. But
yeah,
like,
you don't have to apply yourself.
Never applied myself because I just wanted to fucking have fun. So I tutored physics. I tutored you know, general chemistry as well. Actually, you know what's very interesting? Do you guys know you know, UFC fighter Andre Suguntak? Well, he was the former UFC fighter.
Yeah.
So his wife was one of my friends. I actually tutored her chemistry. Yeah,
really?
Which is kind of funny.
She went to URI.
She went to URI as well, yep.
Yeah. URI,
Small
party
world.
school.
It was a party school.
Dude, URI was crazy.
Oh, dude.
I never went to URI. Like, I never went to college,
yeah,
but like, I went
a lot
to
of
URI.
my friends hung out at URI.
Yeah. So you used to sleep on those little bench. You remember in the hallway, those fucking things? They're like tables and like a bench.
So
sleep there.
So when you graduate, I went to a couple parties out there. I used to hang out at the radio
like
station
3 years
sometimes.
ago.
Yeah. So you got your degree in 2008?
2008, yeah. So I took an extra year because, you know, like, you know, you switch majors junior year, like second semester. That, you know, like I had to double up on some classes, and I actually took a few night classes to basically be only, you know, a year out.
And then you started working at Rhode Island Hospital.
Yeah, so I had an 11-month internship from 2007 to 2008, and right off the bat, they were like, "Yo, do you want a job here?" Because, you know, like I was good at it. Yeah. And I'm a very hands-on type of person. So like if I'm able to move,
you can excel too.
Yeah, and that's how I excel. Like I move, and my body just remembers how to do things that way, and that's how I learn. And they noticed that I was really meticulous in the lab. I'm like, hey, do you want you want a job in the hematology lab? And then I was like, yeah, sure. So like I was working there, you know, during my internship, and then they offered me a job like right off the bat, like before I even graduated. They're like, hey, you know, do you want to work here? I was like, yeah, sure.
Explain for those that are ignorant, such as myself, exactly what it is that you do.
So basically, I'm a lab rat. So I work in a medical lab. So whenever there's like any kind of potential diseases,
we can talk about that.
We'll definitely talk about that.
We'll get into that.
For real.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
The big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So whenever there's, you know, say you went for a physical or anything, to get blood work done, or if there's any kind of infection, the doctor collects a sample, they send it to me. I look at what's wrong with it, and I give him, you know, the answers as to what it can be and what he or she can use to treat it. So basically, I do the brunt of the work for the for the doctor. You want to go that way? Yeah.
Now, you're coming up with treatments and everything too.
Oh well, potential answers, like potential treatments. You know, like the doctor ultimately will have to decide. They make the final decision. Actually, they statistically, I don't know how they get these numbers, but they say about 75% of you know, what doctors do is actually heavily, you know, based off what we do in the laboratory.
Now, you're considered a specialist in tuberculosis?
Yeah, actually, I actually...
Mycology and virology.
Yes, so I actually ran a TB, mycology, which is, you know, fungus, and virology lab. I ran that at Rhode Island Hospital for about 3 years. And, you know, like, so I was the go-to guy.
How common is tuberculosis now in this day and age?
Not very common unless you're from like another country or like some of unfortunately our homeless population. It's dormant in them, and you know it can sometimes come out.
I remember as a kid we used to have to go get the shots.
TB
shots. And then it swells up like a little
ball. Do you help develop that?
No. So basically, what I helped with was I helped validate the PCR test for TB. So basically, for the most part, before that test came about, it would take about 6 weeks for you to be considered negative for tuberculosis. But now you can find an answer within 2 hours.
Really?
Yes. Based off.
And you helped come up with that?
I didn't come up with it. I validated it. So a company came up with it, and then I provided all the to basically back up their findings. So I was the first one.
Yeah,
so you're the man, dude.
I guess so. I don't know.
You're the tuberculosis guy.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't do it anymore because I left that hospital.
You were.
I was. I guess. Yeah, I was at the time.
How did you find studying that particular disease?
I found it really interesting because it's almost like an old world or old time disease.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And it's still around. It's just.
Well, I don't think diseases ever completely go away.
No, they don't completely go away, but sometimes they just pop up every now and then.
Yeah, and it's crazy how that works. People might think actually I was either reading or listening to something about the Black Plague, the bubonic plague.
Yes.
And it's still, it's in existence. They find it in animals and prairie dogs.
Yes, actually it's caused by
in this country.
Really?
Yes, you can still find it.
That's crazy.
It
dude.
is.
You gotta go check the ferrets.
No, but it's fucked up because when COVID happened, I was like, I like to research things. I guess I would have made a good fucking lab scientist.
You probably would have, man.
Yeah,
you do a lot of research in your own.
You gotta get up a different time.
Never too late.
And occasionally people still get it too.
Yes, it's true.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Not bubonic plague, not in our lab.
Yeah.
But let's see. Actually, one really interesting thing that I saw was there's this organism called Blastomyces dermatitidis, and it's actually
say that 10 times fast.
Blastomyces dermatitidis. So it's a fungus, but it's called a dimorphic fungus because there's a mold form and a yeast form. And they sent a sample. It was actually a CSF sample, so a spinal fluid sample, into the lab. And I looked at the slide, and on the slide, it looked like yeast. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I just sent it out, positive for yeast. But what grew was actually a mold. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because, when yeast grows, it looks really creamy. And when a mold grows, you guys have seen mold on bread and stuff. It's really
yeast too.
Yes. Yes. And so basically, I was like, "Oh shit, is this a dimorphic fungus? Because this is a very rare thing." And I remember that the senior scientist there at the time was like, "No, we've never seen this before. It's not possible. There must have been a mistake." I was like, "What? Are you dumb in my shit, motherfuckers?" And one of the things you're not supposed to do is convert the mold to a yeast form. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna prove them wrong. So basically, what I did was I took the sample and I put it into an environment that's more, more friendly to yeast. So it did eventually turn to yeast form. So I confirmed that it was a dimorphic fungus. And it was actually the first time in Rhode Island that Blastomyces dermatitidis was actually isolated here. And I'm the fucking guy.
You're the pioneer.
I'm the fucking guy.
Can you explain what that is? Because I have no idea.
So Blastomyces dermatitidis it's a mold that can actually it can live basically anywhere that say your sinus tract or whatever. You basically breathe in the spores. What's interesting was this person had a headache for a while, and they went to see the doctor. The doctor couldn't figure out what it was. Eventually, they got a sample of the sinus tract. They sent that to us, and that's actually what I grew from it.
So you helped solve the problem.
I did
for that person.
I did.
You were the guy.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Yes.
Now, how harmful is this fungus to humans?
It can actually be pretty harmful.
Really?
Yeah.
What can it lead to?
It can cause a complete systemic shutdown.
Really?
Eventually, it can it can start from here and then eventually leach out into your.
Is this a common?
It's
problem?
rare. It's rare.
It's kind of it's like an allergy. People are allergic to mold,
almost like that. And the thing
right?
is, the reason why people didn't believe it was that the case for the blastomyces is because it's not endemic in our area, so that means it doesn't live in our area. It was actually out in the Midwest usually.
Okay.
And that the person was actually out there and then came over here. Yeah. So that's what it was.
Now, how do you treat that?
Antifungals. So the only thing the problem with antifungals is those drugs are sometimes toxic to humans. So they got to be careful with what they treat the patient with.
Okay. Does that kind of fall into how antibiotics are good and bad at the same time, right?
Yes, exactly. Because you want to take antibiotics, but the thing is, sometimes it wipes out our good bacteria, and then that that causes other problems too.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So would you suggest taking like kombucha or something like that if you were taking antibiotics to give you good?
Yeah. So what I always tell people, eat fermented food like kimchi, things like that. Kimchi, like kombucha. You drink that.
So you're a fan of kombucha?
I'm not a fan because I don't like the taste. I don't like the taste.
Like drinking vinegar?
But I mean,
it's not the greatest taste.
I drink it. I have one in there.
But I eat a lot of fermented food. So I eat a lot of kimchi, a lot of Thai lao dishes. Yep. So
cabbage is good.
Cabbage is really good.
Yeah, I like
so a lot of our traditional cuisine has a lot
beef and cabbage, lad.
Oh, here we go. We got a new guest.
Seamus has arrived.
Seamus, all right, dude.
So you eat a lot of fermented food, cabbages.
Yes.
Kimchi.
Oh, I love it.
What else? Well, you were saying something else too until Seamus interrupted.
Well, what's your regular diet like?
Actually, I eat just a lot of traditional Laotian and Thai food. So.
Really?
So I'll have rice, vegetables, and whatever protein it is.
Another question for you to cut you off, but do you recommend any Thai places in Rhode Island?
Ooh, Rhode Island. Let's see, Thai places.
Yes, I love Thai food.
Bangkok Republic in Johnston.
Bangkok I know where that is.
There's actually it's Thai Garden in Woonsocket.
Yeah, I bet. Thai Garden's really good.
There. Where else do I frequent a lot for Thai food? Oh, Vaughn's in Bellingham is not Rhode Island, but it's
Vaughn's is good too.
Vaughn's is really good.
Green Basil in North Providence.
Oh yes, forgot about that.
Green Basil.
There's a place in Cranston too. I think Minh Hai, maybe it's called.
Minh Hai. Oh, that's Vietnamese.
Oh, Vietnamese.
But it's very similar in terms of.
How do you now? Is there any actually Laotian restaurants in the area?
I'm gonna tell you this little secret.
Okay.
Thai restaurants, they're actually owned by Laotians.
I've heard that. No. Actually, the owners of Green Basil are Laos.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know where Laos is. So just marketing wise, they just say
Thai food.
Yeah, because it's the same.
So Thai food in Laos food are pretty much
the same for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I figured now what about Vietnamese? Because I've been to a Vietnamese restaurant.
Vietnamese is a little different from ours, but I love Vietnamese food too because pho is Vietnamese, and that's my favorite meal. If I'm to die tomorrow, that's gonna be my fucking meal.
I'm surprised too because there's a large Cambodian population. There's not really any. I've never really seen a Cambodian restaurant.
Oh, Upsara. It's Upsara in I think it's on Broadway or in Providence. There's two of them. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
It's really good.
Is that comparable to Thai and?
Yeah, it's actually similar.
Okay.
Some of the spices are different, but their Cambodian food is really good too.
You ever been to on Broad Street? I think it's just called the Asian Bakery.
Yes,
I've been there. Matt, they have the banh mi sandwiches.
Yeah, shout out to Thai Me. He's actually one of my friends. Yeah, he's
shout out
one of my friends.
Yeah, that's the hit most. That's my favorite pho ever, and it's the best.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
First of all, you get the teriyaki banh mi, and they're fucking $4.
I know.
And the bread is
so
the
good.
crunchiest. It's the best, dude. Hell yeah. Shout out to fucking Asian Bakery on
Hell
Broad Street, Providence. We gotta go. We gotta go there, dude.
We should all go out to eat.
Yeah, we should.
I go out to eat a lot. I love eating, man.
If that's your friend, maybe we can get him on the.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I'm sure you'd love to.
Literally literally a hole in the wall.
Yes.
And it's the best, dude.
Whenever I go there, I get the banh mi sandwich and I get a bowl of pho as well.
That's what I do.
Yes.
I get the teriyaki banh mi and the fucking.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I usually get the beef and what is it? I think it's beef and meatball.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Nah, the broth there is the best.
Sounds
dude.
really good, dude. Really good. Are they open right now? So since 2018, you've been working in the hematology lab. Oh, yeah, hematology lab at Boston Medical Center.
Yeah.
So, what's that like?
What forced me to go there?
First of all, explain what hematology is.
So hematology is basically the study of blood.
Okay.
Blood components, different cells in the blood and what's missing, or you have too much of something. So basically, when you have an imbalance of certain types of cells, it can indicate what kind of disease state a patient can be in.
Okay. I have a question for you about blood. excuse me, and I brought this up before, but I followed the blood type diet for a while. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah, I heard that like a certain blood types will basically would be better. Like certain types of food will be better for a certain blood type.
Yeah, I preach it a lot because it did work for me. But it's just like everything else with diet. Everybody has speculations.
Yes.
If it's works or
with stuff like that, like it's always different for everyone. Like what like one person say some person can eat like cheesecake for the rest of their lives, but they won't.
There you go, Chris. You
could but they won't they won't get big because somehow they
metabolism.
Exactly the metabolism. But then someone eats one cheesecake and then they gain like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Mine was I was training and it was eating pretty much typical high protein, low fat, low carb. And I wasn't gaining. I was like at a plateau. Yeah. So then my old boss told me about that diet, and I changed it because I guess even though I was taking in all that lean meat, my stomach acid being AB, I didn't break down the proteins enough, so I wasn't getting in all the nutrients. So it wasn't getting, I wasn't getting any benefit from it. So then it was like change to turkey, lamb, fucking stuff, fish and stuff like that.
And the next thing you know, boom.
Yeah, it made a difference. Yeah, for sure. But people, I'm curious to see if that was. That's like a thing that you've heard about.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I just never, did it myself. Yeah.
What led you to the Boston Medical Lab?
To be quite honest, this is kind of a fucking funny story. My manager at the time at Rhode Island Hospital did something that kind of irked me.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? Let's see who's hiring.
Okay.
So I got on the phone, saw that Boston Medical Center was hiring. Fucking applied, boom, the rest is history. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here.
I'm the fucking man.
Yeah, I'm the fucking man.
Yeah, dude, you're a fucking pioneer, Rhode Island, and now your services have moved to Boston, to Massachusetts.
Gone up to Boston, went up north.
How do you like working in Boston?
The commute sucks. Not gonna lie.
I know what that's like.
The crew is pretty dope. It's a slower pace than Rhode Island Hospital because Rhode Island Hospital is the #1 trauma center in Rhode Island, so it's just like boom, 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 always on the go, and I kind of took that mentality into Boston. So, like, I'm, like, frantically doing stuff fast, boom, 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 like, getting stuff done right. But the thing is, like, everyone else is like, damn, why is this kid moving so fast?
Yeah, making everybody look bad.
Exactly. So, like, one of my coworkers like, can you slow down? Like, I can feel the wind when you walk by.
You're making us work.
It was funny. It was like, once I got there, I actually recruited one of my boys, Marco. He actually worked at Rhode Island Hospital as well. I was like, dude, you got to come up here. Like, it's a good place. You make good money. And, I took him up there with me too. And, now we have that same mindset of just going, go, go, go all the time.
So are you just researching hematology?
Yeah, so right now just hematology. So just, blood cells, what's wrong, like different like hemoglobins that people are lacking. And also I help with like different leukemia and lymphoma markers.
Really? A friend of mine, the Truth was doing that at Dana-Farber.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize I guess there was this whole field of, like, just researching this stuff, which makes sense, obviously, because you want to find cures and things like that. But, like, I guess in my head it was like, oh, you work in a hospital, you're a doctor or something like that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. Yeah. Which is fine, because, like, see, the thing with my field is, like, a lot of people in my field that, I mean, I'm not stereotyping them, but a lot of them did not like me. They're not outgoing. They're not charismatic. They don't want to put themselves out there.
Right.
That's why they work behind the scenes in the lab, right?
Got you.
Yeah. So like, there's no like key figure that will kind of like, be like the the voice for the lab.
Well, you are the voice.
I am the voice of the lab. I'm the
voice of the lab.
I'm the voice of the lab.
The voice of the lab.
The voice of the lab right
now. Now, would you consider yourself to be a scientist?
Yeah, I would consider myself a scientist. Cool, man. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Like a medical scientist?
Yeah, a medical lab scientist.
Cool, man. Yeah, so this is our first scientist on the show.
Boom, here we go.
Yeah, man. Done.
They're the guy.
I got a guy.
The scientist guy. So you want to get into the elephant in the room?
Oh,
yeah. The elephant. 2020's over, so hopefully we can leave this shit there. But elephant in the room. The Rona. The infamous Corona.
You participated in the COVID-19 vaccine clinical trials.
I did, bro. I did clinical trials.
I think people want to hear about this.
They want to hear about this. Yes. Yes. So an email went out into the lab asking, hey, does anyone want to participate in phase 3 clinical trials for the Pfizer vaccine? And this went out probably in spring. And I was like, oh, shit, this is something pretty cool. And I was like, oh, who else is going to do it? I was the only one in the fucking lab that wanted to do it.
Really? Yeah. Well, know, there's a lot of fear and controversy about the vaccines.
Yeah, there is. I understand.
You're growing another nose.
Yeah. But like being a scientist, wouldn't you want to know? Like that's what I was disappointed with.
Yeah. You can being a scientist, you can kind of make your own judgment.
Yes, exactly.
Too.
And for me, I was like, all right, phase 3. That means they've gone through other phases already. Phase 3 is right before production. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, you know what, sign me up. Because, if I get the vaccine, I want to be the first one immunized. So that was my mindset.
Like how many monkeys died?
You're still here.
Exactly.
You got the vaccine. You're still here.
Still here.
No extra fingers.
No extra fingers.
Any side effects?
I thought I was going to grow a third nipple, but that didn't happen.
It started to come in.
It started to come in right away.
Yes,
it was just a hickey. It was a hickey, like someone left it.
So any negative side effects from the vaccine?
Actually, the first shot, I had a really sore arm. Probably 3 hours after I got the shot, it felt like my arm was partially paralyzed because it was so sore.
Wow,
it felt like
trembling.
Yeah, it felt like someone like punched me really hard in the shoulder, and I had like a Charlie horse there.
Yeah, wow.
And I couldn't move it. And that fucking day, I spilled half a rack of urines on myself when I was working in the lab.
That's not good.
Yeah, I was recapping urines.
And think you had the vaccine.
The rack of urines just fucking spilled on me, and all over my lab coat. I was like, "What the fuck?" It was disgusting.
Anything else besides that?
Yes. So just sore arm for the first shot, low grade fever, nothing crazy. The second shot was pretty rough. Second shot was 3 weeks after. They gave me the shot, and immediately I was like, "Ooh, I feel a headache." Next thing you know, my fever goes up to 99, and then it goes 99.5, and then the following morning it was 100.1. So I had fevers and chills that entire day, and I still worked through it because I took the shot on campus, like at Boston Medical Center, and even some of my coworkers were like, "Dude, you don't look okay." I was like, "No, I'm kind of fucked up right now, but I can't leave because I'm the only one trained to work in flow right now because everyone else was on vacation." So I had to power through it. That night, I didn't leave work until 7 p.m. And I got there at 7 a.m. in the fucking morning. I was suffering.
Is it the same shot, like the whatever's in it? Is the same from your first shot to your second shot?
So I believe, I think there's more of the compound in the second shot. So if you want to think of the first shot as foreplay, right? Mm-hmm. Foreplay. Try to get the body to create an immune response.
Hickeys on your nipples, like that.
Yes, exactly. In case someone wants to touch that nipple. And then the second shot, that's the main course. So that's supposed to sustain your immunity. And
you only need 2.
You only need 2.
Okay.
Yep, you only need 2.
So everyone has to get 2 shots.
Exactly.
I see. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you got to get 2 shots.
Now, why with the flu shot, you only need to get it once?
Because the vaccine styles are different, or types are different.
I've gotten the flu shot.
Because this is actually one of the newest type of vaccines is a mRNA vaccine. So that means it's a messenger ribonucleic acid vaccine. So basically, instead of having a weakened form of the virus in the vaccine, it's a spike protein that goes into the compound or vial, whatever you want to call it, and you inject it into the body, and then the body recognizes it, and you develop your own antibodies to what looks like COVID-19.
All right.
Yeah, so that's how we build immunity.
Cool. Interesting.
So do you think that everyone should get it? Because, there's a lot of people who are like, I'm not going to get it.
If you're healthy, I say get it. If you have any allergies to any kind of I don't know. Some people have really bad reactions to even the flu vaccine.
Right.
I would hold off. But, if you are healthy enough, I say get it.
Because there has been people that have come out in the past couple of weeks that have had allergic reactions.
Yes, exactly. But also too, they don't mention how many people didn't have reactions. So that's the thing.
Of course not.
They won't.
Why would the media want to mention that?
Exactly. You
just like
fuckheads.
Just like how many people haven't died from COVID. Why don't they ever talk about that?
Yeah.
Mostly a lot of people.
So. Now you studied virology. Does it have to do with viruses?
Yeah, viruses. Yep.
So how do you feel about COVID in general?
In general, like in terms of, is it real?
Well, no, I believe that it is. No,
it's definitely real.
Well,
is it real? I don't know.
Some people think that it isn't. But
I mean, it's a real virus, obviously.
No, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I joke about it. I shouldn't joke about it because I work in the field, but I'm a fucking clown, so whatever.
No, but so coming from the medical, research profession as a scientist, and when you studied virology, you were obviously studying viruses.
Yeah, viruses, like how they spread, different types of proteins.
So you can speak. You're actually someone who's qualified to speak on COVID.
I guess I'm the guy.
Well, you haven't been studying viruses recently, right?
No, I've for the most part. I mean, I like we do continuing education, so like even though I work in a hematology lab, for me, like epidemiology is like that's my jam. Like that's what I love.
So we got to talk about this then.
Yeah, like so, like I love like how diseases spread, how we can stop it, what causes the diseases, where it came from. Okay.
So give us your thoughts, opinions, concerns on COVID in our current situation in society.
In our current situation, all right. So this is how I thought. We probably should have had like a real shutdown right in the beginning.
Yep.
Just like completely shut everything down. It probably would have saved a lot of small businesses. Not gonna lie. Do the masks work? Yeah, they work. Do I want to wear a mask? I don't want to wear a mask.
No, me neither.
I don't. But, we got to play our part, I guess, and make the appearance of being safe.
Right.
That's going to piss off a lot of people or whatever.
No, it's true.
But so I think that, we should take it seriously. I think that, if everyone does get the vaccine, we should be in a good place. I just hate that, like, so many small businesses have to close down because our government officials were not quick enough to act.
Yeah. Now, so do you think the mask, some people have said the mask isn't healthy?
In terms of like for themselves or
for everyone?
For everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, the mask actually protects you from spreading it to other people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess it's better than not having something there as a barrier. But I mean,
what would be the bad thing? Just breathing in carbon.
Yeah, like a lot of CO2. Yeah, that's a problem.
But you think the mask really does prevent the spread?
It does prevent the spread. Yes.
Now, why do you think? Now? How do you feel about the numbers?
That's a lot of controversy there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Controversy.
Next question.
I plead the fifth in this one.
I mean, that actually, by you plead the fifth to answer the question.
I know you work. Exactly. I mean, we know you work in the field, so I don't know if you can't speak on anything. That's cool, but I just figured, like, I've heard a lot of different things about the numbers, and I had to ask you that.
I think some of those numbers are inflated. Not gonna lie, because I mean, looking at it from just like the logistics of hospitals and how they get reimbursed and all that. Right now, a lot of hospitals are losing money.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't die from a COVID-related, infection, they're not going to get reimbursed, basically.
Right.
So that's why there was an incentive for them to just say, "Oh, COVID."
You know what's the weird thing? I haven't heard anybody having the actual flu this year.
Yeah.
Like normally,
I've heard nothing about that.
Normally, everybody even when COVID first came out, I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, it's real, but I don't know anybody with COVID. Now I have.
Me too.
My grandmother had it. I know you had somebody.
I know someone that died in New York.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah.
But it's like weird. Like the first, like I've never heard any, and like usually like I'll know you had the flu, you had the flu, my mother had the flu, my sister had the flu, or this and that, and now this year you haven't heard anything about it.
Nothing about it. And
they're pushing the COVID agenda.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. It's just funny how like that is just weird.
So what do you think? If the numbers aren't if they're inflated, embellished, what do you think the real numbers are?
I mean, I know that testing wise, the numbers are probably real because in order to get a positive COVID patient, you got to get tested.
Yeah.
The deaths maybe are a little inflated. So in terms of how much, I'm not sure because I'm not actually on the floor. So like I'm behind the scenes. I'm the guy helping running the tests.
Yeah. Have you been involved with COVID testing at all?
I'm part of the rapid response lab. So basically, we do like a lot of stat tests from like anything from the ER coming in, and they were in the process of training us on setting up COVID tests. But for some reason, they never trained any of us yet. So I mean, we're kind of still waiting. Yeah, I'm still waiting.
No,
but I know that it's the same. Actually, it's funny. We're gonna go back to that TB validation I did.
Okay.
It's the same company It's the same, basically, cartridge, just different things in the cartridge. But it's the same kind of test. You put the sample into the thing, put it into the machine. It looks for a target DNA sequence. It replicates. If there's the signal there, it shoots up. It's positive. If it's not, it stays flat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, why is the virus? Why does this virus is kind of crazy? Because it affects people so differently.
It does.
Like some people have no symptoms. Some people get a little cold. I mean, I think I might have had it last year.
Yeah.
You know, because I had a little couple weeks where my taste buds were fucked up, and I had like an ongoing cold. But you know, some people. I mean, it's obviously killed some people. What does it do? Like, why is it like that?
I've actually read some things that where like you know, some of it has to do with, it's interesting, vitamin D levels.
Yeah,
so like you guys probably heard this before.
Yeah.
They've seen cases where patients who had really low vitamin D levels like really suffered from the virus. Like either they died or had really severe cases. But then like people who had high levels of vitamin D, they just had like lost sense of, you know, smell, taste, or like a cold, like, which is crazy. And like, you know, like we haven't really seen like, you know, something like this before, which is very interesting.
So there's been no other viruses that have affected people the same way with low vitamin D levels?
I mean, I'm sure vitamin D has a big thing with immune responses.
I think it was zinc too. I heard.
Yeah, zinc as well. Right? Yep. But if for some reason this one really, you know, they really found that correlation for whatever reason.
So do you think it's important for people to take supplements and
yes,
vitamins?
Especially in our area where, you know, this look how dark it is.
Gray all day.
Yeah, it's gray all day.
You gotta start taking vitamins.
I've been taking vitamins way before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone out there can get your... Because I've heard that before. There's people that have come out and said, man, if everyone just fucking started taking their vitamins and their nutrients, that, you know, this wouldn't be what it has
eat your vegetables.
I mean, I take I swear by vitamins. That's the only reason why I'm probably even able to function right now. No, I do take them. I take a lot of vitamins, but I don't really take medicine. I haven't ever lost sense of smell, taste, or anything. I've never been sick, like, within the last year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So, except that fucking time I ate that sushi. Or
that's a different kind of sickness.
That was a bad one.
Bad sushi.
Whoa, what happened? Dude, that was brutal.
So, where do you think the virus originates from? Do you think it's from the bats?
Somebody eating a bat?
Or do you think it's possibly made in a lab? I mean, you work in a lab, so not that you're making viruses or biological warfare,
so
but
this is
chemical weapons.
This is my take on it. I think someone probably was playing with it in a lab, probably from a bat, and it breached containment, went out into the wild, and then they were hiding it for a bit, and then it was too late. I think that's what happened.
Now, how would it breach containment?
So basically, like, say you and I went into the lab, right? Where, you know, we're doing our thing, and we're not very careful with wearing our, you know, our suits.
Okay.
And there's like a hole in it. It somehow came in. It got into our hands. You know, we touched our face. It's now it's growing in our system, like my system, and you know, it's incubating. I'm walking around. I'm talking to you guys. And then, you know, you guys get it. We develop symptoms.
And it could come from like anything too, right? Like it could be like feces and shit, like maybe.
So droplets. So like your saliva, like basically, I don't know, maybe blood. Like for this virus, it's usually like, you know, you aerosolize sneezing and coughing and stuff.
Now, do you have to when you're in the lab? Do you wear one of those suits?
I don't wear those suits.
You're studying blood.
Yeah, so it's mostly like, you know, blood. We just wear like lab coats, face masks, and gloves.
Okay.
Sometimes I wear safety goggles, and you know, if it's really potentially infectious, we work with it underneath a hood. Like a biosafety
so you think
packet.
Originally they took it from a bat, though?
Probably, yeah.
It wasn't
because a lot of viruses come from you know, rodents, bats, and stuff.
So you don't think it actually came from the wet market, though? Like what they said originally?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it could have been like, you know, like. It could have been where, like, you know, it left the lab, the guy went to a wet market, and then, you know, that could have been the case. I mean, that's one theory as well.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, no, you're not. We're probably never going to know. You know
they're
what
going to
mean?
Oh, maybe they do know.
If they know, if they knew, they ain't telling us.
No, they're not telling us. So what do you think needs to happen? What do you think the outlook is for the whole situation?
I think if everyone took the vaccine and eventually maybe this thing will go away. Because look what happened to SARS, right? Because, you know, basically this is the cousin of SARS.
Yeah.
I mean,
but why was this so widespread in SARS? They seem to contain
it was a
much smaller.
Yeah, it's
really?
either... I think SARS, it just never came over to the States for the most part.
Okay.
And I think since it came over to the United States and then it kind of spread then it spread to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I think that was the problem because SARS kind of just stayed in Asia for the most part.
Yeah. Was SARS as big in Asia as COVID has been?
It was.
Really?
It was, yeah.
See, I didn't realize
it was.
that. Mm-hmm. Wow. So they've gotten hit with fucking multiple viruses.
Yeah, so that's why that's why they all wear masks there. Yeah, I mean it's
you think
for
it's just
dust
like
and
a
pollution
population
as well.
because there's so many people?
Yeah, it's very congested in Asia.
It's like New York. Well, it's like when COVID first happened. How hard was New York City hit?
It was hit.
It was insane.
Probably the worst around here.
Yeah.
So do you think we're gonna? Some people have said we're gonna have to wear masks long term, even after they, quote unquote, get the virus under control?
I think that might potentially become I hate to say this,
new normal.
The new norm. Yeah, I fucking hate saying that shit.
That sucks, dude. So there's gonna be generations of kids that are growing up in the fucking mask fucking era.
Even even the masks, like how many, like I'm guilty of it. I have these disposable masks. Have you ever thrown I don't think unless it's broken, you don't wash them. I'm using the same mask for 6 fucking months. Like what's you know?
Yeah, for real, right?
Or your phone and you touch. What's the difference? You touch your stuff at Walmart. I pick up this, I put it back, and then.
Well, when this whole pandemic started, there was the whole thing where you can get it from touching surfaces, and then that kind of like
it kind of went away.
Yeah, it was like
yep.
Why is that?
Because I think they realize now that it's more sneezing, coughing, and those droplets coming out, and you and I talking to each other like really close. I think that's what they eventually figured out, because like when you touch things. I mean, unless you touch it and then immediately,
stick your hands in your mouth.
Yeah, so I mean that's how that's how you had to get it.
I heard that they were saying that it's even worse for people being in the house because that's where it spreads because it's a 15-minute, 10-minute thing. We're not going to get it.
Yes.
I mean, here we're far enough apart, but it's a constant.
Yeah, it's constant. Like
you have to be around somebody for a half hour, 45 minutes, and that's when you'll be you could be potentially damaged. So like the whole walking in the fucking aisles the right way and all that shit's bogus.
For real,
I'm not doing that.
Like with the
I don't know if you do that, but I'm not.
No, hell no. You can tell me the virus only goes one way.
Like, well, now they're closing the bars down and stuff. What here's a mass 9:30s. Here's 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then the weekends is 10:30 because the virus.
The virus goes to bed, man. Come on, it's gotta sleep. It's gotta sleep.
Unbelievable.
Well, you know what's crazy is back to the family thing, like you were saying in households. There was a couple families I read about that it killed this virus apparently killed 4, 5, 6 7 people in the same family.
Wow, one had it, and then
there was a family in New Jersey.
Around.
Yeah, there was a family in New Jersey.
It
It killed a bunch of the same family members because obviously no one knew they were sick, and then it just spread that way.
Another thing people don't pay attention to is your pets. Like I have ferrets; they're wicked susceptible to it, right? Because they have bad respiratory system. Anyway, but even your dog. So if you got some asshole that threw a cigarette butt out or spit or something, your dog's on the floor, and your dog can bring that in. You don't even pay attention to that, and that could be a carrier.
Well, how about all those minks and something like they killed?
So many.
They had to euthanize. They had to euthanize. Was 7 million.
Dude, it was something crazy.
That's so sad.
That's crazy.
All those lives.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And they're like
mink lives do matter.
They do matter.
Oh shit, we gotta add that.
Oh man. Hashtag
mink live. I got ferrets, so we can say it.
Ferret lives matter.
Ferret lives matter.
They do. All living creatures' lives matter.
I'm a Buddhist, so I mean that's a life form.
No doubt.
Exactly.
How'd you get into? We'll switch it. How'd you get into Buddha? I mean, we've talked about this years ago, but
so I mean, I was raised a Buddhist.
Yeah, right. Obviously,
but I really didn't. I guess I didn't put much value in it until much later in life.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents. I was a fucking bad kid, so my parents used to send me to the temple for to spend my summers. It was like boarding school in the summers. So I would shave my head, wear the robes, meditate, chant. Yeah, I did that for 3 summers in a row.
Know that.
Dude, I was.
You didn't tell me that.
It's.
So you were on path to becoming a monk?
Yeah, Kwai Chang Caine, man.
Really, dude. Well, tell us about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, so basically, we'd wake up every morning about 5 in the morning to.
So how old were you? So you were a bad kid. Your parents said, "Listen, it's kind of like going to military school. We're gonna a boot camp or something. Yep. We're gonna send you to the temple.
We're gonna enjoy our summer. You little bad fucker.
You go stay at the temple."
Well, this temple was in Rhode Island.
It was actually in Smithfield. Lime Rock Road.
Yeah, I know where it is. So they sent you there. So what do they have, like a program for kids or?
No, they just you can send anyone there.
Really?
Adults go there. But
I do know that, but I just didn't think of it like in this country parents sending kids to the Buddhist temple. I guess maybe because it's not like
but if they practice
the mainstream.
different, you know. That's
Well,
like,
I'm sure in Asia it's common.
Yeah, it's very common.
What I mean, but here you don't really think about that.
But it would just
you
be
think
like
of kids getting sent to reform school or boarding school. Or the military school.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you were a bad kid.
I was a bad kid.
Your parents said, "Yo,
you go to the temple.
You're going to the temple.
You need some Buddha in your life."
So how old were you when you went to the temple?
So I was probably like 13, 14, 15. I think that those.
Oh, yeah, pivotal fucking
yes,
years.
Like what the hell, man?
So you were really acting up.
I was acting up. I was acting a fool.
Wow, dude.
I was acting a fool.
So now you're like a fucking 13-year-old maniac, and they're like, "Yo, you got to go to the temple.
You got to go to the temple."
So all right. So did you resist?
No, I just kind of knew that I was a naughty kid. I was like, maybe this will help. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. So I did learn a lot from it. I learned how to meditate. That's actually, I still practice every single day.
Yes,
I still practice meditation. And, my days would be, you wake up, you pray, you have breakfast, you kind of do chores around the temple. And then at noon, you pray again, have lunch. And then after that lunch, you have to fast from after eating lunch all the way till basically sunrise the next day.
Really?
Yeah, so
2 meals a day?
2 meals a day.
I'd be fucked.
I was starving, man. Like, being a teen at that time, my gosh. Like, I was just like, oh my God, what did I do with my life?
Oh. So you did that for a summer?
Yeah, for the summers, I would do that.
Every summer?
Only those couple years.
Okay.
Yeah, only those couple years.
And so what did you really take away from being there, and how did you apply that to your life when you came back to society?
So it helped me kind of like stay calm, try to like refocus and center myself. And sometimes I would get like too excited about certain things, and the teachings that they taught me at the temple, just be calm, breathe, meditate, focus, which is kind of funny. It kind of overlaps with martial arts training.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And I think probably every kid or most kids probably need something like that.
Yeah.
I think anyone could benefit from that kind of training and teaching. And not to say maybe you have to live there, but like even if there was some kind of classes that kids had to take, maybe that would also...
It just gives you discipline.
Well, maybe that would also help conquer this whole fucking ADHD culture that we live in.
Which shit comes up with me as well. Because my parents are like, dude, this kid's always naughty. Like, why is he so naughty?
Yeah.
I bet you... I have some form of it.
Yeah, no, I probably do.
Yeah, but it goes back to kind of like you were saying before, how you never had to apply yourself. I feel like I got into trouble because I still was passing, didn't apply myself. But
Yes.
And we're in the ADHD, ADD, Adderall,
whatever,
Celexa, Concerta, whatever.
Exactly, dude.
We're on that. We're Ritalin.
So maybe this would be the alternative to putting kids on fucking medication. Yeah. And just throwing them back into fucking school, send them to a place where they can they can learn to calm their mind.
I agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't that being implemented? Well, it's just like
why? Because it's free.
I know, exactly. And also, exactly. It's not easy. It's not something that they've marketed. It's just like you think about traditional Chinese medicine and holistic remedies and stuff. I mean, you work in the medical field. Why isn't any of that stuff at the forefront of our society? Like in Asia, it's common to see people practicing Tai Chi. Over here, I mean, it's more common now here, but it's still something that everyone kind of looks at.
It's like, oh, it's fake.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's just the powers that be.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, again, like you said, it has a lot to do with the pharmaceutical companies. Who, they're not going to market that. Those are their main competitors.
Yeah, that's taking money out of their
exactly. There's no there's no incentive for them to do that.
There should be, though.
There should be, absolutely.
Because you're a testament now, a living, walking testament, and to finding some success from having that, right?
Yes, the East and West mentality, right?
Yeah. And now you said though right away you didn't really apply the Buddhist teachings until later on.
Until later on in life, because you mature. Yeah, you mature.
I mean, when you're 13, all the philosophy stuff, you might be like,
so what the hell?
Yeah. But just the fact that you would definitely say the meditation helped you.
It did.
Learning to breathe, right?
It makes you stay calm.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you were there, were you just doing that every day?
Every day.
Really?
Every single day.
There was no other activities?
Other activities, like sometimes we'll attend funerals. We'll do like rituals and blessings there.
Yeah.
Sometimes like someone would move into a new home, so they would send the monks there to bless the home before people start living there. Like different different things, like different religious festivals we will go to.
Yeah.
So it all varies depending on the weekend. Usually a lot of the events are on weekends.
So now you consider yourself to be a Buddhist.
Yes.
Now there's obviously the philosophy aspect, and then it's become a religion too in a way.
Yeah.
So do you lean more towards the philosophy or the religion or both?
For me, the philosophy, because what's
too.
interesting about Buddhism is most Buddhists they don't believe in a god.
Yeah.
They just believe that the Buddha was a man. He taught people the way to enlightenment.
Right.
And he didn't consider himself a god. He just spoke truth. Well, according to him, truth.
Yeah.
And,
the Four Noble Truths.
yes, exactly. And I mean, I believe in a god.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me personally.
Yeah.
I mean, but most Buddhists don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure your concept of God is different from like if you would go to a Catholic church.
It is, yeah. God is within.
Yeah.
God is universal.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree.
Whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
you can call it God or whatever. But I do agree with that. And I think initially too, the Buddha, if you really look into it, it wasn't meant to be a religion.
No.
The Buddha even was quoted as saying, question what I'm telling you.
Yes, exactly.
Discover it for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's one major difference, and one thing that appeals to me from Eastern to Western is that in the Eastern traditions like Buddhism, Taoism, etc., it's more free spirited.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's not like you have to read that. I mean, there are scriptures you can read,
Of course.
but it's not. I mean, I'm sure when you're like becoming a monk and stuff, you have to.
You
know
have
all
to
that.
learn. Yeah, you gotta
know what
learn
I mean?
that.
But in general, there's not so much emphasis on that dogmatic.
Exactly.
Teaching. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, if you're a good person, that's all that matters to me, and that's what
it's about.
That's really what it's about, right?
I feel like religion is just different ways to get to that.
Yes.
To develop yourself. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, in some, they kill each other over it.
Yeah,
and they force it on people.
Even the Buddhists, I mean, some of them are really radical as well.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been TK was on and she was telling us something about there was her mother was involved in a Buddhist cult.
Oh,
and
no way.
I was like, yo, I didn't even because you don't think Buddhism, you think peace and pacifism and but the people can just take anything and manipulate it.
Good.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
because Buddhists can have those violent tendencies too. Look at the Shaolin monks, right? They were warrior monks.
Yeah.
I mean, they had that potential to hurt people.
Yeah, and there's other more obscure monk sects too in the past. Yamabushi, they were one in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's some other ones too that were. They were monks, but they fucking killed people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You're not supposed to take a life.
Well, yeah, they weren't like strict Buddhists. But they lived like hermits kind of.
Yeah, but they kill you.
They'll kill you. Yeah,
but they kill you.
I think the Buddhists, the Shaolin monks, they were more learning it to defend the temple.
Yes, because they kept getting ransacked and robbed.
Attacks.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
attacks.
Yeah,
a lot of attacks.
Yeah, it's interesting how that has become like real commercial too.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
if you go over to China, dude, they have like the commercial temples.
Yes, I know.
And everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to the fucking Shaolin temple," and it's just
you mean
that's not really. They have like the monks have like fucking smartphones. And
Yes, exactly.
It's not. There's like a couple real ones left. I guess they're out in like the mountains. You gotta like go find them.
Mm-hmm.
But like the main ones in like mainland China, like fucking that you thought was the place to be. It's really like.
It's a tourist trap.
Yeah, it's a tourist trap. Yeah, man, it sucks. They commercialize everything.
For real.
You know what I mean? So, oh man, so you're into street racing too. I knew that. I kind of forgot.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You still are currently?
Right,
I used to be when I was
Oh
younger.
no way! Yeah, I don't have. I didn't bring the car today. I took the ladies' car today. So
I remember, because I remember you had. I don't know what you have now, but I remember a couple of years ago you had some soup. It was kind of souped up.
It was the
it was an Acura.
Acura
right?
RSX Type S. Yep.
Oh, word.
Yep.
That's what I had. I had an Acura that was souped up.
No
that was
way,
my
that's
first.
pretty
Yeah,
dope.
well, second generation.
Mm-hmm.
How did you develop the passion for street racing?
I was just always into cars and motorcycles growing up, and then once I got my license, I was like, oh, I want one of those tuner cars.
Were you around for Riser?
Riser.
Remember that?
Riser.
I was in Riser for a while. We're out on street racing.
Ryan Stewart. No,
Everybody used to meet up there
Harrison
at Harrison Ave. They used to meet at the Wendy's parking lot at
Warwick.
the Rhode Island Mall.
Yes,
and then
yes.
and
Oh
then
my
the
God,
and
we used
then
to
the
race down that
Wendy's.
road.
I raced once allegedly from the Verizon store at the Warwick Mall to this where the movies
way.
are to that Dunkin' Donuts.
Wow.
We used to meet the whole fucking. There were no lights. It was like 8 of us, dude. Yeah, one of my buddy's belts, he won, but his belts melted. He didn't drive home. He had to get it towed. All his belts melted off, dude.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, crazy.
So you were always into cars and motorcycles.
Yeah, cars and motorcycles, man. Growing up, like I still remember as a kid, I would tell my dad to always draw me motorcycles. Like I was like, "Can you draw me a motorcycle?" He's like, "Why do you keep asking me to draw you a motorcycle?"
Does he draw your dad?
Yeah, he would draw it for me. He was like, "Why does this kid keep asking me about motorcycles?"
And you have one that's modded you made yourself?
Yes.
Like a bobber or something?
So now I have a Kawasaki Ninja. It was only a 400. It's actually my first season riding. So like, once I got the bike, the first thing I did was swap out the exhaust. Got a slip-on exhaust. It's got a fender eliminator. I was like, get this ugly piece of plastic out of here. So just make it look clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, always a gearhead.
So when you got into the street racing with the cars, you actually allegedly participated.
I allegedly participated. Allegedly got my car impounded. Oh man, I started. Yeah, I was just talking about this earlier with one of my friends. I was racing down 146, and I see a cop coming off of Breakneck Hill.
Breakneck Hill, yeah.
So I see a cop coming. I was like, "Oh fuck this! I'm taking off." So I take off, and then he couldn't catch up. I was like, "Oh yes, I'm good." Next thing you know, I see a car coming out in front. So he radioed his friend, his boy, to cut me off, and then I was gonna run. So like I took the first exit. They followed me. It was the Lincoln Mall exit. They followed me, freaking bagged me, took my car.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
I've lost a car once. It's terrible when that happens.
I blew up one motor. I blew up the Type S motor.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a Type R motor in it now. So like, I imported a motor from Japan. I was like, fuck this, might as well go get a better motor.
Yeah, but I had a B18A.
Oh no way.
Yeah, B18A Stage 4 Super Turbo.
Damn.
Yeah, 2.5-inch cat back. It was fucking fast.
I don't have a cat anymore. I just took that shit out. Got full race headers. Not legal, but whatever. Fuck it.
Now, can you talk about the street racing scene at all?
Yeah, so like we were always into it. Like at the end of high school, throughout college. I mean, it was big back in like
it was huge,
2000s. Like
remember
2000s?
Garden City? They used to have and then it actually started crossing with like the old school and like the truck shows. Remember like the super trucks and shit like that.
Did you go to Hot Import Nights at all?
I have.
Oh my god, yo,
dude. Yeah, yep.
I remember
Hot Import Nights, dude. We actually had a booth. I was in it was like with High Tech, and then I was.
Oh no way! You know the High Tech dudes.
Yeah, and then
good
it was,
guys. The Trans.
Yeah, the best, and then it was I fucking can't even remember the fucking team that I was part of, dude. I was sponsored by somebody I can't remember. Extreme Concepts, I think it was called.
Dope.
Pretty sure.
You're not into it anymore?
Nah, no. I crashed the fucking car, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luckily, I never killed myself. Like, I don't know how. Like I didn't kill myself.
So where would you guys allegedly race?
Allegedly, before the speed bumps on Harrison.
Cardi's too. Remember?
Oh yes, Cardi's.
Right here.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah,
this brings me way back, bro.
Yeah, I'm old.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Cardi's fucking.
Cardi's. Harrison Ave, allegedly, right? Okay. Allegedly. Before the speed bumps. They fucking put speed bumps.
Well, that's why. That and those stupid little rotaries.
Oh, those motherfuckers, man.
I love rotaries.
Oh, dude. There's speed bumps everywhere now, dude.
And then like the long ones, dude, are fucking like humps.
Now, would you guys allegedly race for money?
No, I just did it for fun.
No,
I just did,
like there was no money involved.
Yeah,
because I know I've seen documentaries. And stuff.
Some dudes are really into
California
that.
was like big.
Yeah.
Well, Fast and the Furious. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you how comparable was Rhode Island's alleged street racing scene to Fast and the Furious?
Maybe it's pretty. It was pretty damn close. It's pretty deep. Into the scene.
It was all. I mean, it was a tight knit community, I guess you'd say, and like you'd meet up certain days, and then you know what else was cool? Doing ride nights.
Oh yes,
where you'd just have a car, like fucking 30 cars. Just we drive from here to meet in Cranston, and we drive to Newport, we'll drive to Thames.
Oh yeah, we did a lot. Go throughout Thames, and then just come right over the bridge.
Yeah, dude.
Peace out, dudes.
See you next time. And I mean, people, like, I mean, they had a lot of money in their shit, and a lot of it, like you said, gearheads. You'd be working on your cars with like all your buddies would show up to your house, and fucking everybody be working on each other's shit, dude. It was fun.
Now, I have a question. Now, when you see people like speeding on the highway, like really fast, like maybe 2-3 cars, are they racing?
For the most part, yes. Yeah, they could be.
Now, do you think that's a safe thing to do? As someone who's done it? Yeah.
No, it's not.
Someone who knows how to drive. Yeah. Do you think it's smarter to go find a road that's not commonly traveled?
Yes. I mean, unfortunately, there's no racetracks around here. So, I mean, fine. I mean, I don't condone illegal street racing, but I mean, if you're gonna do it where there's no one around. Right?
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I would say. Because if you crash the car and you fucking kill yourself, at least you didn't take out maybe fucking
like a family.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Another thing, you're driving at double the speed of the people that are on the highway, and you get some kid coming home from school. The mother's driving, and she's not paying attention. Or she is, and you come up so quick.
Too fast.
Right. She's going 60, you're going 100 and something.
Yeah.
And she's taking her, and then you crash. And man,
it's
definitely not good to do.
I wonder.
I wish they had places that you could get your shit dynoed and fucking go and actually run track.
They haven't come up with any what you call.
Should do that. They don't fucking use the thing.
Well, because if you think about skateboarding or graffiti or things like that, they've made legal places where people can do those activities.
Yeah, they don't have.
Why don't they do something like that for street racing?
I think it's because it's too much of an insurance and liability problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you do it on a speedway
and you crash,
and you die, then it's just too much of a liability. So people, all they do is to comparison. Put them on a test and you would compare horsepower to 0 to 60 to
exactly.
But that's like a tech.
Yeah, it's you show a graph.
That's not a
check out my dyno graph.
Yeah, cool, dude. Yeah, that's not cool, graph. I don't want to ride.
Well, I guess they would say too, if you're really that much into racing, then you might as well go the legit way.
Yeah.
And get into fucking NASCAR or Indy. What is it called? IndyCar.
Indy 500.
Did you ever go up to Epping, New Hampshire to drag race?
Mm-mm.
I went up there a few times. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, drag racing.
So you've actually done the drag racing?
Yeah, I actually done the drag racing.
How'd you like
I did all right. Before all my crazy mods, the best I got was 14.6 on a quarter, which is okay. I mean, there are dudes putting down 10s and 11s on a quarter.
You never had any aspirations to go
NASCAR
or fucking become a professional driver?
Yeah,
the transporter?
The transporter, right? I would actually. What I really want to get into is racing motorcycles.
Okay, is that your next venture?
Yeah, my next venture. That's what I'm gonna do.
So you said you got a bike recently, right?
Yeah, a little Kawasaki Ninja.
Okay, a little crotch rocket.
A little crotch rocket. Of course, I had to get a Ninja, right? I had to get a fucking Ninja. So yeah, I want to really get into it. This is my first bike. I'm probably gonna turn this into a track bike. I'm gonna get a bigger bike for just the street, but this little 400. I'm probably gonna mod it just for the track, and then just gonna whip it around the corners.
You're gonna stick with the street bike style. You're gonna go.
I want multiple bikes, man. It's I want the obviously I want the sport bike. I love the the little cafe racer type bikes. I freaking love Harleys as well. They just they just look dope.
Too.
Now, is there an outlet for street bike racing?
Yeah, actually, I believe in Connecticut they have a racetrack, right?
Do you see they're coming out with a new Supra?
Yes,
dude,
the Targo top.
Yeah, bro.
Oof. I just wish it was a manual transmission. I still drive a manual, and I prefer
manual.
Same here, man.
You have more control. Besides the gas thing, you have way more control.
You do.
It's
just more fun.
Prefer it, and they don't offer them when I was a kid. It's every other car was manual. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now everything's automatic. When they changed to that Tiptronic shifting,
Tiptronic or the paddle shift,
which I would refuse to use that. Yeah. I would rather use. I'd rather just use regular automatic than try to pretend I have a clutch. It's not the same. It's a feel though. It's not a.
Yo, I can totally picture the both of you guys in a Fast and the Furious.
Yo, let's go.
We're gonna make
Tony's the fucking.
Is it Johnny Tran?
Tony's the fucking he's the fucking racer dude, but he also is a fighter, a martial artist, and he does all the fucking high flying stunts and shit. And then Rob's the fucking Paul Walker dude, fucking bad boy, fucking.
Dude, you gotta write a script, dude.
Yo, write it.
You guys might just inspire.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do Fast and Furious. Fucking Rhode Island.
Now, something else is pretty cool. You co-own Vintage Shop.
Yeah, so
I didn't know, but
which is actually a dope name, by the way.
Bad Taste. Actually, I run the shop with my friend Lung. Follow us Bad Taste PVD. So a vintage.
Where about is your store? I love vintage shit.
So 60 Valley Street, Unit 5.
All right.
So you know where Troop is?
Yeah,
of course.
So right next door.
I used to live right there, Tuxedo.
Oh no way. That's too funny.
How did you get into that? I didn't realize. Is that new? Is that something new?
It was a couple of years, probably 2 years or 3 years now. And I always collected comic books.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "What the fuck are you gonna do with all these kids?" Freaking books. I'm like, watch, Mom. I'm gonna do stuff with that.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but
I got a lot of comics.
I got a lot of comics. So I was always into, collectibles like action figures and all that, and I kept them in boxes. And then, we stumbled upon a collection from our friend John Simino. And what's interesting about John Simino is he is actually the manager of Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas was like a protege of Stan Lee at the time.
Wow. Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
wow.
and
rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Stan Lee. So it's cool because we have a link to Stan Lee that way.
Yeah, that's dope.
And so we came across his collection. We took up some of his stuff, and then Long and I decided to open up a vintage clothing store, collectibles with comic books, action figures, and basically any kind of pop culture memorabilia. We have it.
Word. That's dope.
So what do you guys just buy and resell?
Yeah, buy, resell. We also create our own prints. Like for example, like one of these t-shirts. Like this is one of our prints as well.
So you were just always into comic books?
I was just growing up like just
as a kid. I had a period too where I was into them. Yeah,
like I just never grew out of it. I'm a child.
Child at heart.
Exactly.
So then since you had so much. So many comics and action figures and everything, you said, well, I might as well try to make some money.
Exactly, yeah. And, it's cool because, there are a lot of people that are into it around this area. Yeah. And, it's cool talking to people about it and other nerds that,
Yeah. Has it been, how have you found running the business?
Right now it's a little tough because of the whole shutdown with COVID and all that. But, we're doing a lot of stuff online, a lot of social media stuff. Yeah. We were involved a lot with, like, the Comic-Con stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so we actually had a booth last year.
Really?
And, I actually dressed up as Spider-Man. I made a joke that I was like, I'm training all year so I can dress up as Spider-Man. And I did.
Wow. That's dope, man. So right now business is mainly online.
Yeah, mainly online.
So what? You guys have a website?
Yeah. So it's just Bad Taste PVD.
BadTastePVD.com.
Yeah. Just follow us on social media.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram. Bad Taste PVD. Make sure you follow that if you're into comic books and collectibles. You have a actual store.
Yeah, that's actually where our store is located. Yep.
Okay, and is it open right now?
Is it next to the There's like a hair salon right there. Is that in that building?
So I'm not sure if it's the hair salon, but do you know where Riff Raff is? It's like a bookstore as well around that same area.
No.
So if you go into Troop, if
Troop,
you're facing the park, like the small parking lot, like behind Troop, we're on the left side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're right.
Yeah, I think that's right where that fucking thing is. Is there more? There's more
things
places.
up top. Yeah, there's more places up top.
I know exactly where you're at. We gotta go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite comic book?
Ooh, I'm
Spider-Man. I'm assuming.
Well, Spider-Man for a single character, it's Spider-Man. For a team, X-Men. Like X-Men is my jam.
X-Men were badass, man. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about all the movies that have come out over the years?
X-Men. All right. So I'm a big Cyclops fan, and Cyclops was a pretty shitty character in the movies. He was like this whiny, jealous boyfriend type that just kind of took a backseat to Wolverine.
He sucked. You know what? I used to like Gambit and fucking, and the Gambit sucked too.
Remy LeBeau. Yes.
Fucking.
I thought that last Wolverine movie was good.
Logan. Oh yeah, that was
Logan was good because it was a different type of story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was good.
How about the one before where he goes to Japan and all that shit?
Oh, well, where he fights the Silver Samurai. I thought it was okay, kind of over the top.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of over the top.
I like all the Avenger movies.
Yeah, the Avengers.
I feel like Marvel did better than DC.
They absolutely
DC
did.
or Marvel?
Ooh, Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel. I mean, I love DC, but Marvel.
So what would be your favorite comic book movie?
Comic book movie. Oof. Infinity War is pretty dope.
Yeah, those are all good. You have to watch them and what's good about them is they all go into each other. But you know what else? No good Superman movie in my honest opinion.
Not even Christopher Reeves, dude.
They were campy. They were good for the time. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I don't like them. I just wish that.
I do like the new Spider-Mans though.
Yeah, the new Spider-Man movie is pretty cool.
Well, favorite Batman. Who's the best Batman?
Oh, this was
the best Batman.
You know what? This is gonna piss off some people, but I really like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne.
Which one was that? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, Batman. See, there you go.
Which one was
that? There you go. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. Was he a good Batman? I don't know if he was a good Batman, but I liked him as Bruce Wayne.
Which one was that? I don't even remember.
The one terrible one.
The terrible one. The Batman versus Superman. For me, that was the only good thing about that movie.
Dude, I wanted to see it so bad too, and I was like, I can see Bruce Wayne.
The Bruce Wayne, yeah.
You have to be Batman.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's why I specifically said Bruce Wayne.
He makes a good Bruce Wayne.
He makes a good Bruce Wayne. Yes, someone else is Batman. Yes.
Michael Keaton, best Batman of all time.
I good. It was good.
Val Kilmer.
George Clooney.
I like
That's right, George Clooney.
Clooney,
Too. That's
remember that?
right. That's right.
No, I
dude.
like whatchamacallit, the new one.
No, Christian Bale's. I
He
think
kills it, dude.
Yeah, Christian
I don't like
Bale's
how he
Batman.
changes his voice.
Yeah, the
like,
voice is a little weird.
But besides that, he fucking nails it.
They took that. They took that and made it like, you know, if you're not into comics, you can still like.
Yep.
You can still watch that shit. Like, this is a badass fucking movie.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
Those movies are phenomenal anyway. And same thing, Batman Begins, they all go in order.
Yeah.
Where you can actually learn the story.
What's the? Are they coming out with another one?
They're probably gonna. I've heard what
Different director though.
It's called The Batman, and it stars the guy from Twilight. What's his name?
I know what you're talking
Robert
about.
Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Patterson.
Is it gonna be gritty or is it gonna be back to like?
It's supposed to be gritty.
Really?
It's like how he, I guess, kind of started. He's already Batman, but you know, the early ages.
Well, that's kind of like Batman Begins.
Yeah, like year one or
like
whatever.
They're never gonna. The Christopher Nolan movies are never gonna fucking touch those. Dude.
Yeah.
And plus, Heath Ledger, they unfortunately passed away because you're not gonna. Jack Nicholson, but Heath Ledger really killed it.
He was Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix did.
Well,
do it.
Oh my God.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think about that?
I thought that was a phenomenal
Yes,
movie.
it was well done. It was more
Now
like
it was a different story.
opera.
They wrote a different story
did.
for it.
I mean,
Well, it was a storyline of Joker's never really been done.
Well, but they changed the Joker storyline though. That's not the story from the
original
comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know
and
what
what's interesting about that movie is like towards the end, I was rooting for him. I was like, oh hell yeah.
You feel bad kind of
you
because
do.
you got abuse. Like you can actually see the mental fucking
Like,
disease kind of.
It's horrible how he was treated, and you know he basically was bullied for his entire life.
Yeah. And he was like a nice guy.
He was a really nice guy.
Took care of his mother. And
I've always related to the villains or the anti-heroes. So
Me too.
I'm
Big Darth Vader fan. Magneto.
dude,
He was a villain.
I think.
you like Mandalorian?
I did.
Fucking dope.
What's that?
The Star Wars series.
The new one.
Oof.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Not Boba Fett, but it's based on a bounty hunter.
Oh, really?
Fucking dope. You'd like it.
You really like
like
it.
Star Wars?
Yeah, back in the day. I mean, I
love
haven't
Star
watched
Wars.
many
Chris,
of the
it's
new
more
ones.
like a samurai show.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Lone Wolf. Think
have
of
to watch
Lone
that.
Wolf,
We should
but
watch
set in
I love it's
Star Wars.
dope.
Yeah. I think they should make more villain movies or
Yes.
anti-hero.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the Punisher series on Netflix.
Yes.
I love that shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Wicked good.
Fucking great.
I mean, Wolverine was kind of an anti-hero
that's
when he
true.
first started,
Yeah,
and you know he kind of became a
rebellious.
good guy.
Yeah.
It was like rebellion. Well,
Yeah.
Punisher's not really wasn't really a
No.
bad character.
He was twisted.
He was. He killed people.
Well, a lot of people.
A lot of people. There was a body count there.
That series is really good.
I always liked Punisher though, even as a kid. So and then the movies, all the Punisher movies were kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that series, dude, I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, it's when
This
I
is
saw
great.
that the actor John
Barenthal.
Bernthal,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw him play Shane in The Walking Dead, I was like, yo, this guy would play a perfect Punisher.
Really?
And
And that's what they did.
Wow. That's the universe at work.
Yeah, I was
Maybe
like, whoa,
Yeah.
oh, this is cool.
That show's great. I mean, Netflix does a good job. Even the Daredevil one is pretty good.
Yes,
you
it's
know?
really good.
The Netflix budget's serious. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't
They
mess
come
around.
out. They come out with heavy shit.
It's almost better than the movies.
Oh,
man,
absolutely.
Doing it like that.
Yeah, because you know they're allowed to do that rated R stuff where they can swear, there's blood, there's violence.
I like
And they got all the CGI now too. They look good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where a lot of other things you come out with is like the
like,
production
this,
level is
yeah.
not as like, you know.
Tony, who's your favorite villain?
Ooh, like in terms of comic books?
Yeah.
Ooh, favorite villain. That'd be a tough one, but for me, definitely Magneto. When Magneto was a villain, I mean, he's kind of a hero now.
What do you think about Venom, the movie that came out?
I thought it was all right.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it was more a comedy.
Yeah.
than anything,
I
but-
always like Venom too.
Yeah, Venom is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And did you? I might say.
They need to do a Bane movie, dude. Just fucking
Oh, that was
Bane.
cool.
Bane.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Did you see? There's one coming out, and it's not fucking shit. It's not Prometheus. It was Jared Leto, and oh my god, I'm not gonna remember it. He has some disorder where he can't like walk, and he does like a trial treatment. Or something.
yeah.
I don't think I saw the trailer for that one yet.
I'll bring it up.
What comic book? You don't know the
Oh
comic
my
book?
god, it's gonna drive me nuts with my phone.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of like gritty, like the Dark Knight type shit.
Yeah,
and,
same here. Like that's why I was a little disappointed.
I mean, you got to do the other stuff for kids. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? I understand that, but like, I want to see the you know, it's more like a drama. With,
yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
why I was a little disappointed when Disney kind of bought Fox. So now they have all the X-Men characters. They have Deadpool. You know, Deadpool falls underneath the X-Men characters.
Oh, really?
And now,
I didn't
like,
realize that.
I don't think Disney's gonna allow him to do any like rated R movies, which kind of sucks.
They're gonna have to bring it to like, PG.
What are they gonna
PG-13?
bleep or beep everything he says?
Yeah.
You know what I want?
No dick jokes, no nothing.
I do want to go to Disney to go to the Star Wars exhibit.
I went there. I went there the day before they shut down.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote the.
How cool is that?
It was
dude?
dope.
Yeah, I mean they go fucking hard.
They do.
Dude.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Well, you're a big Star Wars guy.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Star Wars guy. My favorite is Empire.
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
I like Return of the Jedi.
Return was good.
Now, what do you think of all the remakes that have? Because I've lost track, dude. I don't even know.
The new trilogy.
Just from like fucking after the originals and they
So
started.
Rogue One, I really enjoyed the one that had Donnie Yen in it.
Okay, yeah.
I wish that they would have shown his character more and kind of like showed his his Jedi like powers. But they only had one cool scene where he takes everyone down.
Yeah. I don't even know fucking where they're at right now. You guys just told me about is that the newest one? The one you were just talking about?
What?
The Star Wars movie?
The Magda. Oh, that's
the Mandalorian.
That's a Mandalorian series.
That's a
Oh, that's not. Wait. Oh, it's a TV series.
it's a TV
series.
Oh, and it's like some samurai
And it's
shit.
based,
Yeah, it's
based-
really good,
Yeah, it's
dude.
fucking dope. We should watch it.
Yeah, I'm have to.
This
So
actually-
what's the newest Star Wars movie though? They came out with one.
The Rise of
the-
Skywalker, right? The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh shit! Was it the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, it's the Rise
or
of
was it
Skywalker.
the one with the girl? Right.
I don't know.
I think it was the one. I think it was Rogue. Was it Rogue something? Maybe.
Well, the Rise of Skywalker is the one starring
Oh,
the
that
girl.
is
Yeah,
it. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think the last one I saw was like
And then-
Anakin fucking
Well,
the Anakin.
oh,
one
with
or
the
something.
fucking things that
I don't
racing.
remember. Yeah, I don't know. It's
But
been a
have you
while.
heard of it's called Morbius. Is the
Morbius.
name, which fits up your alley.
Morbius.
Biochemist.
Yes, that's a villain from the Spider-Man series.
Yeah, that looks dope. But that's
Oh, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Biochemist tries to cure himself from a rare blood
Yes.
disease. This is right up your
Oh yeah, I
alley.
think I saw that trailer.
Yeah, so
it turns
Morbius
into like a
is
vampire kind of
he's a
thing.
vampire. He's one of the villains in the Spider-Man kind of universe. Yep.
Wow. That's dope, man. They should make. I never even heard of that villain, but they.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
cool.
villain, but then kind of a good guy.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Now,
He turned bad. Like they all do that. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
they kind of dance it between
Yeah,
good
back
and
and
bad.
forth, right?
That's why I like Marvel because, like they'll switch sides. Like Magneto could be a good guy one day and then a bad guy another day, and then
do you remember like those
Well, that's
really?
DC, isn't it?
what was that?
Isn't it DC? Isn't that DC?
Magneto.
Yeah.
Magneto's
No,
the X-Men. It's Marvel. Yep.
Do you remember like those weird like offshoot like comic book companies that made like really like adult like gritty fucking comic books?
Like Sin City. Remember that?
Oh,
Yeah, but like I remember as a kid there was one called like Bloodline. Dark Horse, I think that was the name of the company.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
I think they're actually owned by DC now.
Okay.
Dark Horse.
Yeah, I remember like there was one where it was like these fucking like dudes and like they were like out of space, but they were like gangsters and like they would go and do like fucking the crazy shit, like kill. Like it was like some gang shit, but like it was a comic book. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I always thought those were dope.
You ever
They-
see Gene Simmons? His shit's all like
No.
fucking raunchy. Fucking.
Oh no, I haven't seen
no,
all
I
his
He has
books.
comic books and it's like filth. It's like
Really?
dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I used to have them.
This kind of inspired me. I'm gonna start fucking collecting comic books again.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
We
it's
should put some
fun,
on the
man.
walls. It would look good.
Were you also into like martial arts, kung fu movies and stuff?
Oh hell yeah! Growing up, that's all I would really watch basically.
Yeah, so
from like Enter
between-
the Dragon to like Jackie Chan and Jet Li movies, Donnie Yen.
Yeah. So between comic books and martial arts movies, that's why you were so out of control.
Yeah, basically, yeah. All I want to do is fucking fight.
What's your favorite kung fu or martial arts movie of all time?
Oh, this is gonna be a little different. All right,
Okay.
so I consider The Matrix martial arts. movie.
Right.
Yeah, so
there's definitely elements of it.
Yeah, so The Matrix is actually my favorite movie. Of,
Period?
like
Okay.
of any kind of genre.
Okay.
Nerd.
Yeah, because it combines everything I love, right?
Yeah.
Cars,
Yeah.
motorcycles.
No, The Matrix is a fucking badass
Yeah.
movie.
Weaponry,
I
philosophy.
haven't seen it in forever either.
Yeah.
No, me either.
I feel like I haven't seen it since they came out.
Probably, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think I have either.
And Keanu Reeves kills it in that movie
Yeah.
as
yeah. One
as
of his
Neo.
last
yeah.
movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that movie is like, because I was such a big fan of the movie, I learned that Yun Woo Ping, the fight choreographer, wouldn't even agree to jump onto the film unless each actor did 1 year of kung fu.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why they all look good doing like those moves.
I didn't know that.
A year of kung fu.
Wow. Do you know what style they train?
I don't know. It's probably like a mixture of wushu.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because you need that flashy stuff.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for
exactly.
The screen. Wow, that's interesting though.
Yeah.
So that's why they look good. You know?
Was there? No, I don't remember. Was there any actual martial arts based actors in those movies? I can't remember.
What's his name? Colin something.
Like a Jet Li or
the
something.
The guy that
like
played Seraph in I think part 2 or 3. That was supposed to be Jet Li's character.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he obviously turned on the role, and they got that guy for the role.
I wonder why he turned that.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, he probably didn't. He was like, "Oh, I'm Jet Li. Why am I going to play a side character?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's usually a lead role.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's a lot of money you passing up.
Yeah,
I know.
Do you like his movie where he kind of plays Bruce Lee? Was it Fist of
A Fist of Legend? Yeah, actually, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he did a good job. Yeah, there's that one scene where you kind of really see the, how he's fighting and stuff. You see the comparison to Bruce. Yeah, that was cool.
I grew up watching Jackie Chan. I feel like
Jackie Chan
was awesome.
It
was cool because there was no he does all of his own shit. That's what I always thought was cool with him. Like when he's jumping through these little fucking things and shit. Like fucking, you're really doing that.
It's like the first guy to turn a chair into a weapon, right?
I think the first time I saw him was Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, the 70s Kung Fu, the Shaw Brothers movies and stuff. I didn't see those till later.
Actually, I think Rumble in the Bronx, that might have been his first Hollywood movie, right?
I think it was, yeah.
And it's funny, Rumble in the Bronx, but I think they filmed it in Canada.
So you're also this guy does a lot. Another guest who does
5,000 fucking things.
He's into a lot of stuff.
I am, man.
You're a man of many hats, as they say.
I try. I love to live. I love to live.
You're also into photography. I remember you being into photography.
Yes.
So you're also into photography, videography, and you've taken photos that were in Sifu Kevin Seaman's book.
His second book, Seeking the Path, Jeet Kune book. And he actually just randomly was like, "Hey, Tony, you want to take pictures for me?" I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" He was like, "I'll give you a photo credit." I'm like, "Absolutely."
How'd you get into photography and do a video and everything?
Well, growing up, I was always into art. I wanted to do art before going to to college for science.
Do you draw and stuff?
Yeah, that's all I did.
What don't you do?
I don't sleep.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't sleep. I don't sleep.
This guy's he's a scientist, a martial artist, a photographer. He owns a comic book store.
Oh,
right? Like, dude, you're doing everything.
I do it all.
Didn't realize it.
Fucking
It's impressive.
Yeah.
You should be famous, dude. Why are you not
He's
famous?
the guy!
I'm the guy.
He's gonna be famous after this, dude.
Oh, man.
I hope so, man.
Thank you.
So, how'd you get into the photography and video?
I was in high school, actually in middle school and high school, I was part of what they called the gifted art program. So one of my art teachers noticed that I was really good at art and was like, "Hey, do you want to apply for the gifted art program?" And then I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then I did a couple drawing tests and created a couple things with with clay, and then they accepted me into the program. So I was in the program for middle school and all throughout high school. And the last year of high school was videography and photography, and I was pretty good at it. And I actually wanted to go to school for digital art in Savannah, the School of Art and Design. And my parents were like, "No, you're going to be a doctor." So I couldn't go to art school. So I was just always into it, and I just did it on the side.
You still do it currently?
Currently, I haven't really done much, but every now and then, I'll do like a quick little photo things.
Yeah.
Wow, what's interesting, because I don't want to stereotype any cultural things, but like TK had said that too when she's Korean.
Yes, I was listening to that. I was like, oh my god, that just sounds like home right now.
Is that like an Asian thing where it's like the kids want to do something, like let's say you guys she was good at art too, and so you are artistic, and then I feel like it's not even really just an Asian thing, but is it more prominent in?
It's very prominent in Asian culture. Yeah, actually, my dad was a physician in Laos and Thailand.
Okay.
So he was a doctor. My mom was a music teacher.
Oh, so
yeah, so that's where I kind of get it from, right?
So why would your mom? So. You think your mom would encourage that? Then?
Yeah, but she wanted me to basically do well off for myself, so she doesn't have to worry about me. I think that's really what it comes down to. Yeah. And of course, they left Laos and the war, so we can have better opportunities in the States. Yeah. And she was like, I mean, not to shit on art students, but she was like, you're not gonna make any money from that. So I want you to have a job that that will provide for your family if you eventually do have a family.
Yeah.
and a doctor because your dad was a doctor, or
Yeah. You ever watch Russell Peters?
Yes.
Him
I actually saw him live once.
Did you really?
Yeah,
oh my God! How was that?
It was hilarious.
He's fucking because he just picks on everybody. He's great, dude. He's so funny.
Yeah,
but he talks a lot about that. Like him and Joe Coy, same thing. They say like, "Oh, that same shit, man."
Yeah, it's like instilled in. Actually, he
said, "He goes, I want to be a break dancer." He goes, "You can dance on your break."
That mentality is so bad. Like in parts of South Korea, there's a surplus of professional level, people. Like so many doctors, so many lawyers that there's no jobs for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have places to go with that degree. It's because everyone went to school to be a doctor or a lawyer. So now look at you have a country where there's no jobs.
I think. I mean, I'm on the opposite side where I think art should be encouraged, man.
It is. I mean, it should be encouraged.
Fucking encouraged. If you have especially you have an artistic ability like that, that should be encouraged in our society. There's some countries that kind of do, like I think Russia, like if you want to be an actor, it's like they're held in very high regard. Like you go study like traditional Russian acting, and it's taken very serious.
Yes,
really?
It is.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
Yeah, man. Like that we should have more programs like that here in other countries too.
Yeah, but look at the samurai. Like the samurai, like they were warriors.
Oh yeah.
But they practiced calligraphy. They practiced poems, haikus, and all that.
Exactly. They were warrior poets.
Yes.
And I think there's a correlation because that those are also artistic. So like me being into martial arts and music, it's all art, but it's different forms.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Just like you being into martial arts and then in drawing and comic books, in photography, it seems like everyone that's into that stuff, is they kind of go between different things, different aspects of it. Mm-hmm. But that's good. Like art is everywhere, man.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like in one way or another.
I mean, I saw someone post this up too. Like when the pandemic hit, we're gonna go back to COVID now. When the pandemic hit, what did people rely on for entertainment? The artists.
Exactly.
Right? The artists.
Exactly. Well, I don't think you're taken serious as an artist until you're making a lot of money.
Yes.
Like whether it's a musician, whether it's drawing or painting or acting or anything really, like it's just a hobby up until you're fucking on TV or you're on the radio.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like people don't understand the passion. You know what I'm saying? Like I live this every single day, dude. This is my part of my life, who I am. And maybe I'm not making a living at it right now, but like it should still be taken seriously,
absolutely,
and encouraged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had Robots Will Kill. He kind of took that like little outlook on artists that got overlooked, and he kind of like promotes them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's dope.
Stuff like that.
Good, Are you doing any art stuff now?
Right now, no. I've been kind of selfish and just basically just lifting.
Yeah, and training.
Yeah, training. That's all I've been doing.
You're still doing. I mean, that's still art too.
Yeah,
martial art.
Yeah, martial art.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I said, I think how dull would the world be without artists?
Oh my gosh!
Fucking imagine.
Oh my gosh!
Well, because art form could be in any type of fucking. I mean, there's so many different. Whether it be music, fighting,
even cooking.
Cooking.
When you had experiences with your artistic pursuit of wanting to be culinary, artist, and how that didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Culinary arts. Yeah, it didn't.
It was kind of discouraged.
I got discouraged. I got discouraged by it. I was going to school for everything and culinary and. My stepdad's like, you don't want to do this. You want to have a family. You want to grow, and you're not
want to make money.
How are you gonna make money? How are you gonna have a family? You're working in a restaurant. You're not getting home till 3 now. And so I didn't do that, and I ended up working in strip clubs for the last 20 years. But good job.
Well, there's art in that too.
There's definitely.
Listen, parents. I want us to say this, parents. If your kids are artistic or show interest, encourage it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I want to say.
I never gave up cooking.
Don't discourage it. Push.
Exactly.
If that's what they want to do, help them out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't discourage them so they don't have to struggle. Like, struggle builds character.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? But maybe, some people would succeed, more in life if they could do what they, felt passionate about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It didn't have to be such a struggle, Like,
and you enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
It's your.
If you think back, like if there was more avenues for certain areas of art, that might encourage kids also to not go down the wrong path.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like certain maybe choices I made, like maybe I wouldn't have made because I said, oh, I have this outlet that's going to help my music. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sure it's happened a lot.
Of course.
To a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
With culinary, I went to Votech. So this is something that you probably, if you went to a vocational school, it helped me because same thing like you, I didn't pay attention. So half of my year, or like half of my semesters or whatever, I was in culinary, so I wasn't even in school. I was in the school,
you weren't in
but
class.
I was doing something that I was going to apply. You know what I mean? So it exercise.
That's what I like.
You know, that's what was way better. Hands-on, you're in the kitchen all day and working, you're learning shit, and then what I have to do, like English, PE, and science and history, I think was the only things I had to do, like a couple days. So it was like, it was a good outlet for sure.
Well, the thing I don't understand about school is that, like, okay, you have to learn the basics, right? Math, writing, reading, all that stuff. But, like, once you figure out what you want to do with your life, that should be the focus of your studies.
Yes.
Why do you have to take all these other classes on shit that you're not even going to use or that you're interested in?
I know. There's
That's what fucked me up, dude. Like, if I could have...
Like math, you're not going to grow up and have a calculator in your pocket.
Well,
but I do.
I know. But you got to learn the basics of math, you know what I'm saying? But, like... You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like when I went to college for a little while, like I was like, I don't care about half this stuff. Why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
it's strange. Now the math too with the kids, like
the Common Core. I can't figure that shit out.
Oh my god, I used to
what
try
is it?
Like Common Core math, dude. It's like the most ass back, dude. It's don't even try to figure it out. It's the most backward shit. It doesn't even make like they're doing like 18 other steps to do like just adding, like fucking simple addition. Put them on top of each other, add down, and they're like no, but it's like fucking. I don't even know how to explain it. It's fucking weird. Dude.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's supposed to be like a strategy in terms of how to solve problems, but it's so convoluted that it takes so much time. And they don't want to. I don't know why they don't want to teach kids how to figure out problems.
Yeah, they should.
Like they're taking the thinking out of it.
Dude, it's so weird.
Problem solving is key, right?
It is
in human development.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do in the lab, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I problem solve things. Break down too. Like I had to troubleshoot. You got to be able to think outside the box.
Yeah, definitely. Do you use a lot of math in your field?
For the most part, a lot of things are calculated out for us.
Okay.
Like anyway, like we'll put them in like Excel files, or like, every now and then we'll have to do math if you have to do things manually, but nothing crazy. Like
Yeah. So you're not using like calculus and trigonometry?
Some of our COAG tests, like you look for derivatives of things, but I mean, those are done out for us.
I was so bad at math, dude, in school. It was terrible. I was so bad.
You know why I was bad at math? Because it was like same thing, my attention, and like I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but you still did good because you're just naturally.
Just for some reason, I just naturally. I don't know. Is that stereotype
naturally
again, right?
Mathematically gifted.
Yeah, genetically gifted and not studying, but doing really good.
So, anything else? Anything else you got coming up? Anything you're doing? Anything you want to talk about?
Let's see. I mean, I don't know. Like, the only thing that I'm really focusing on this year is just training more. I probably should do a little more grappling. Not gonna lie, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, Coach George, before the pandemic hit, he wanted me to fight, and
really?
And obviously that never happened.
Yeah.
So
well, hopefully we get back to a place where they'll start having fights again, concerts, and social gatherings that we can actually go and do things.
But who would I fight though? Like a little kid, like a 125 pounder? Like wait, what's going on?
I mean, I don't know. You gotta find another fucking. But you're like 137, but you're fucking you're beasting it, lifting 400 plus fucking pounds, dude. So you might have to fight a heavyweight.
Let's go. You're like a sleeper, dude.
I know. I was like,
we'll take it back to we'll take it back to UFC 1, dude.
Oh, for real?
You know what I'm saying? No fucking weight classes.
No weight classes, baby.
Nothing, dude.
No gloves, nothing.
No gloves, nothing, man. Fuck it. So you're gonna be focused on training pretty much.
Training.
That's what you're working, training.
Working, training, focusing on the store.
Nice, man. Why don't you give out your social media, give out the store's social media again, and tell people where they can check that out.
All right, yeah. So my own personal social media is, for my Instagram is @Phanlak. It's spelled, PH, the number 1, ANX, Phanlak on IG. And also follow our store at Bad Taste PVD. And yeah, that's how you can find me.
Cool, bro. Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having us. That was a lot of fun.
No, it was really good. We covered a lot of topics. So make sure you follow the Bad Taste. Check that out, man. Bad Taste PVD.
Yeah, Bad Taste PVD.
Follow that if you're into the collectibles, comic books. Support that. It's a local business, small business.
Providence, baby.
Yeah, man. Okay.
What's
cool,
up? Not to cut. What's Foolish Bandits?
Oh shit!
Oh, Foolish Bandits. So basically, the Foolish Bandits is that's our offshoot. So this is Long and I wear the boots.
It's like kind of like your brand.
Yeah. That's
all right.
Brand,
Word. All right. Cool. Dope.
So check out Foolish. What is that? Clothes?
Yeah. So it's just like a part of one of our things that we put out, a part of our line.
Okay. Cool.
So check their own brand.
Okay. Cool. Very dope. Yeah. So check that out. Bad Taste, Foolish Bandits. Follow them on Instagram and support local artists, businesses, and everything else.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Street Corner Soapbox, we're fucking out of here.
Peace.
The Street Corner Soapbox.
If you're a fan of the podcast, you can help support the show by donating to our PayPal at paypal.me/Street Corner Soapbox.
That's right, guys. Make sure to like and share all of our episodes. And for easier access to our show, check out our link tree at linktr.ee/Street Corner Soapbox.